Hello, it's me, Ian. Well, this is episode 104, and unfortunately, at the moment, Delboy's not with us. He is going to be with us, but um, unfortunately, his mum has got an infection, and she's gone to the hospital. So he's well, she will be going in. I think they're there, ambulance and what have you, and then he'll be coming on. So our best wishes to Delboy's mum. Um, but we know how the situation is. It does happen like this, unfortunately. But um, so he will be coming and joining us. So instead, you've got to put with me ramping up for this length of time. Uh, yeah, doing my usual mistakes. Yeah, pronunciation. Ah, yes, you know all about Peter Cushing, don't you, with his cushions and everything. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. Um, Now, it's funny because we've all been not that well, not all of us, but I've not been that well myself. This hand has been swollen up. It's been giving me a hell of a lot of jip. I've been taking painkillers, and I'm supposed to rest it, but I'm left-handed, so I do a lot of writing and all that kind of stuff. And it well, everything I'm left-handed. So it has caused a few problems. I'm supposed to rest it. The nurse who came this morning for my sort of normal visit that she comes, just said I'm supposed to rest it. But it's difficult to rest a hand, and especially as I've been writing. But anyhow, so I'll get on. Um, so the first thing that I watched, I haven't got that much, but anyhow, um, is this. It's the Gorgon. Now I thought I'd watch this one because it's another Hammer, and why not? But also because um, last last time I watched the Reptile, so I thought, hey, I'll watch the Gorgon. Why not? So this is from 1964. Um, the screenplay is by John Gillian and Anthony Nelson Keys. And Anthony Nelson Keys is a big player in terms of producer behind Hammer. And of course, it's directed by who else but Terence Fisher. And of course, it stars Peter Cushing, yeah, and Christopher Lee, of course. What can I say about those two? It's interesting that Christopher Lee in this plays this professor, and he's got this funny wig on, and to making him look older. Um, it's an interesting role because he's not the sort of dynamic character in it, but he's quite crucial to the story. Um, and Peter Cushing is just typical Peter Cushing. Perhaps in this role, is is kind of not the nice sort of Peter Cushing that we normally associate with him. He's okay, but he's joining in the conspiracy of silence which is going on. Um, uh, but it's a great role. Now this also has Richard Passio, who's more known for A Room at the Top, which is a great film, 1959, and Yesterday's Enemy, which I've talked about a lot, but he's brilliant in that. He was also in um, Rasputin the Mad Monk, which everybody loves that one, 1966. Um, um, The Watcher in the Woods, 1980. They're just a few highlights, as usual. I'm going on. There is Patrick Troughton, who appears in this, as he appeared in so many films. He plays Inspector. Uh, and now the female lead is brilliant. It's Barbara Shelley. Barbara Shelley is so well known. She was in Camp on Blood Island, 1958. Village of the Damned. Village of the Damned, what a great film that is. Blood of the Vampire, 1958. Shadow of the Cat, 1961. But the film that she really sort of made a name was Dracula, Prince of Darkness, 1966. And she's in that. And also say, Rasputin, the Mad Monk, is in that one. And Quatermass in the Pit, 1967. So this is set in Germany, as they are, always somewhere like that, in 1910. And it's in this mythical kind of village called Vandorf. There is no such place, but sounds good. Vandorf, why not? Um, and there's 7 murders, and uh, for, for 7 years, hey, the victim, and each victim, turned um, to stone. Oh, wait, let's turn to stone. What we're going to examine, so that it's quite funny because you've got the doctor Peter question and say, "What we're going to, examine the body. It's all a stone statue." Um, uh, so that might give you an idea. It's because the mythological story of the Gorgon. If you look at, you turn to stone. Now, and I thought the one that turned to stone was the Medusa. Um, but obviously in this, it's Gorgon. So there we are. Um, it's I enjoyed it. It's another good Hammer film. You look at the production values of it, and you can't help but enjoy it. For all its limitations, um, I think it's just something that you really enjoy and you can just put on. And it's a nice compliment to the reptile, I think. Watch the reptile and watch this. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, the next one. Oh dear, where do I start with this one? This is a French film. It's Mr. Klein with, I'm going to say it, Alain Delon. Yes, I get to say that. And this is in French, of course. And um, it's from 1976. It's written by Francois Solonas and Costa Garras, not Costa Blanca or Costa Coffee, whatever you want. Uh, but the main point for me is because it's directed by Joseph Losey. Um, I'm such a great fan of his as a director. Losey came from Hollywood in the sort of 1940s and 50s. He became on the blacklist. He came to England and he came to France to make these wonderful films. And this is one of his films. Uh, and, Lucy in this period, I mean, the films that he did The Criminal, 1960s, just a few. The Damned, which I think The Damned is so good. Oliver Reed's in that one. He was in The Servant, which I suppose everybody knows in terms of its well thought of Dirk Burger, King and Country, brilliant. I've mentioned these before, 1964. Secret Ceremony as well, 1968, which is a good one. And of course, the one I really love, got Julie Christie, is The Go Between. The Go Between is in that one, and he's just great. And the other actress is Jean Moreau, and she's rather good in this. I really enjoy. Again, I don't know much about these French actresses, but she's very good. I think she's very good. She just adds quite such a lot to the part. Now, this part is really about um, identity. It's set, you see, in France at the time of the Nazi occupation, and it's interesting the way this is portrayed. we see him as it starts in the film, and he's buying all this art paintings from all these Jewish people, making a lot of money. But then things take a turn because he discovers this like newspaper has been delivered, and it's about Jews, and it's assuming he's Jewish. Um, and this Mr. Klein is somebody is thinking, well, it's not me. I'm not Jewish. I've got to prove that I'm not Jewish. Now it's interesting. Right at the beginning of the film, you're thinking to yourself, how does this fit into the film? And the very first scenes, we see this woman, she's naked and she's been examined everywhere by this doctor. And basically, he's assessing if she's Jewish. And we get that. And we know that this is an important part of what the Nazis did. Um, and so it's an interesting point about his identity because he's horrified. He don't want to be considered Jewish. And this is the film really unravels, takes you on a real journey of finding out who the real Mr. Klein is, or is he, and what is going to happen. Um, he's not always a likable character because he's not. Certainly, when we see him, he's not got much emotion. Same with his girlfriend. In fact, his girlfriend leaves him, and he's not. Don't seem that bothered. He's a very cold character, and even right at the end, you kind of see him. He's still got that coldness, right? And for him, the ending is quite drastic. It's everything perhaps that he's been trying to fight against. Such a good film. I just absolutely love these kind of films, and he is a great actor. Delon just is. He just really expresses how this character reacts and his world unraveling, and is how sure is he about his identity? Oh yeah, this is absolutely wonderful. There's more of these films. It's on this world. It's sort of vintage world classic cinema, um, and wow, I'm just totally into it, and brilliant. And Lucy is a great director. And then the last film that I want to talk about that is is called The File of the Golden Goose. As you can see, it's not that's in this language, which is possibly French or Spanish. La Conduce et Londres. It probably is French, isn't it? That, but the film is certainly not French. It's uh, sort of. It's called The Fire of the Golden Goose. It's 1969. It's a British film. A British film, yes. They called it a neo noir thriller, as they do. It's written by Robert E. Kent, and the screenplay is by John R. Higgins, and it's directed by Sam Sam Wanamaker, uh, who directed The Executioner in 1970, Cat Low 1971, Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger 1977. And then if you look at him, he's a predominantly director who does a lot of TV series and TV films. So he didn't have a very long career in terms of directing films, but pretty good films to be involved in. So it stars Yul Brynner, of course. Yul Brynner, you look at him and you think this guy has a certain something about him. His standout films are obviously The King and I, 1956, Magnificent Seven. Who could not forget him in The Magnificent Seven? Uh, there's a good western called Villa Ride, 1968, which I think is great. Cat Low, 1971. And of course, who can not forget sci-fi film Westworld? So he plays the gunfighter. He's great, and of course he reprised that role again in Future World. Just know that. And then another actor in this is Charles Gray, a face that you might recognise quite a bit. He was in You Only Live Twice, which is one of my favourite James Bond film, the first film I ever saw of James Bond, Sean Connery. Um, and then he was in the classic Hammer, possibly their best horror film, which is The Devil Rides Out, 1968, and he's really evil in that. Brilliant, brilliant role in that. And of course, he's in Cromwell. He's in Cromwell. He plays the Earl of Essex. Cromwell. I get a chance to bring that up. He also was in Diamonds Are Forever. They brought him back 1971, and perhaps not the best, one of the worst. um, but it's okay, you know. And he plays Blofeld in it. Another actor playing Blofeld. Nobody beats Donald Pleasance for me, those Blofeld. And he was also in The Theatre of Blood, which is such a fun film, isn't it? Vincent Price, Dana Rigg. I love that. And then he was in an Agatha Christie film, The Mirror Crack, which is great. Out these they're wonderful, those Agatha Christie films. And then I mention him because he's another actor who you recognise so much. Edward Woodward. You would he said. Edward Woodward. Um, Callan. That's how I first really saw him in the TV series, which was I didn't realise it's 1967 to 1972. Callan. I was always pretty aware of it in those later sort of 60s years, being on the TV. But of course, as an actor, in terms of films that stand out for me, is in Young Winston, which is fantastic. But I think everybody thinks of him, the Wicker Man. He's the policeman in the Wicker Man, and Wicker Man is one of the greatest films ever made. How a statement to make, but it is the Wicker Man is something pretty special. Of course, that's got Christopher Lee in it as well. Rather interesting role. I didn't realise as well. Is in Hot Fuzz. Is in Hot Fuzz. Actually, I haven't watched that for a long time, but I didn't realise he was in Hot Fuzz, which is interesting. You know, a policeman role. Um, so those are what I watched. Not a great deal, but you know, there we are. I'm trying not to use that hand too much. So let's now have a look at the comments. What we've got. Uh, so we've got Sai saying, "Ghost." Okay. And then Rocket Bunny says, "Here we go. Buenos nachos si espero que esté bien." Well, yeah, that might be a bit Yorkshire, but there we are. Um, and Rocky Boy says, "And good evening, Ian and Del. Hope you're both well. Also, well, we're here. We're getting on, and I say, Delboy hopefully should be with us. Hopefully, pretty soon. You know, these things happen, and we know how it is. So we'll just see what happens. Um, and then, yeah, this one's Ke Ke. I wonder who said that. I know nothing. I know nothing. Mr. Faulty. Yeah, I would say that. I learned Spanish from Faulty Towers. Yeah, I think we all did, didn't we, Kat? Kat? Yeah, definitely. Manuel, who could not love Manuel? Oh, comedy gold. 12 episodes of Faulty Towers. Oh, wow. Um, and then, but hello, Rocket Side says. Um, and then Rocket Bunny says, my last employment was working with a production facility in Spain for the last 8 years or So I picked up a bit doing that. So, well, I would imagine you would. You're in that environment, you actually kind of would pick it up. If you put somewhere, eventually you will start to learn it. And then cool, Sly says, and then Slipknot. Hello, Slipknot. He says hello. Thank you. Welcome here. Um, and then um, we thought Slipknot says, "Get well soon." To Delsmore. We all gotta agree. Yeah. Um, just hopefully she'll be back from hospital soon. But obviously they have to check with infections and that. So hopefully it it, it won't be too long that she'll be back. And then we've got Tony. Good evening, Ian, Del, Sly, and Rocket. Very sorry to hear about Del's mom. Yeah, I know we all put on our best wishes to uh, it's Del will appreciate all the thoughts. And then Sly says, hi, Slipknot. Tony says, hi, Slipknot. And then, hey, Tony, hey, Slipknot. And then thoughts go to Mrs. Dell. Are true. They certainly do. Yeah. And then we've got Si saying, hi, Tony. And then Tony says, is it arthritis or rheumatism you're on, Ian? It could be a bit of both. I don't know. Um, the nurse had a look, and uh, she thinks I might have sprained it, which means it should heal, but it could be. I mean, my hands don't like cold. I ain't going into freezer and things like that. If I go in there and take some out, I have to be really quick. I put my gloves on because my hands, when they go cold, they really hurt. It's like somebody torturing me. Um, they don't like cold. They don't like it when it's back. I'll tell them. Nah, man, I'm always cold. You wouldn't think today, it's supposedly being a bit warmer. I'm still feeling cold. But it's this room, I think. This room is so well insulated that it's always remains cool, um, which is great. It's really, really hot because then you feel a bit cooler. Hopefully, in a few months' time, that will be all right. Yeah, but we'll see how it happens. But I don't know. I feel the cold so much more now. Um, I don't know what's happened this year. It's been awful for me, but I'm getting old. Getting old. Uh, and then we've got Slipknot saying, yeah, Sly, Tony, Rocket Buddy, good evening. Uh, and then um, Tony says, that's the Emma film I get mixed up with the reptile. Yes, they're both very similar in ways, and really good, entertaining films. Um, and well worth getting on Indicator. Um, I think it's not one Indicator. It's a, yeah, it is. It's Indicator. It's the the extras are just amazing. I love it when you have these Hammer pods who talk about Hammer films. Sometimes you get Tim Newman, one on that, but there's this other guy that's absolutely brilliant. He seems to know everything that they did in the studio and everything behind it. And I just sit and listen and in awe of them and their knowledge. And it makes me kind of enthusiastic and more about Hammer films and what they're doing and what they're into. And I love it. Absolutely love it. Uh, I want to see more. I suppose Hammer will be releasing all these um, on their label eventually, and probably do good additions as well. They'll probably do add a lot more documentaries and stuff behind it, which will be good. These are more lesser known hammers, I think. They're not the big ones people know. So we might get a good release on there. Hopefully that'll be soon. Well, when I say soon, it's probably gonna be take a while. They haven't been massively prolific, have they? And then Sly says, "Yep, I was here that day." Uh, and, Rookie says, "Not heard of the Gargoyle." So I looked it up on Amazon. I see that the usual Blu-ray DVD sale, but there is also a VHS for 101 quid. God, you'd have to be a real, I don't know, a massive, massive fan to buy a VHS copy of that, really. I mean, it's probably extremely rare. I would imagine it is, but crikey, who would pay that for a VHS tape? Hey, buy it, you'd have to have plenty of brass, blooming heck, have to be coming out of your blooming ears. Uh, I mean, 101 quid. No, even I wouldn't do that with my favourite films. I don't think I would do that, I've got films that I just adore, but 101 quid? I don't know. I don't know. No. Uh, and then tell me, go for the VHS Rocket, worth it for the picture quality. Yeah, go for it, lad. Go for it. Oh, wonderful VHS. Ah, the wonderful days of VHS. I couldn't wait to get rid of buggers. I don't have any nostalgia which at all for it. I understand people's nostalgia with, like, the covers and, all that stuff, but generally, I got rid of my VHS as quick. Soon as I first DVD I watched, a that's it. That's for me, and that's why I still have a nostalgic feel for DVDs, and I'm gonna keep DVDs. I'm not getting rid of my DVDs. I love them, and they still play well. Why, I know I probably go around preaching this every week, but it's true. Yeah, people writing off and going, "Oh, I'm not having DVDs," as if there's some sort of disease or something. No, they're not. They're good. They're all right. They're all right. And as I say, TV series, you're not often gonna get some of them, or the old ones on, um, DVD. I mean, just DVD, that's it. You're not gonna get Blu-ray releases, cost too much money. They're not gonna release any of them. And then what you're gonna go, "Oh, can watch it for free on Plex." Oh, yeah, I don't know much about Plex. I've heard of that you download, is it, and, um, I don't know, but if you get free, well, why not? Um, but I must admit, if I love a film a lot, I've gotta have the physical media copy. I'm not, you know, um, I don't mind having downloads, but ultimately I have to have especially if I really love it. If it's like a one-off watch or one that I'm not too excited about, then I could probably just, I mean, I've got on this, laptop, I've got quite a few films downloaded. Some I probably never watch again, or I'll probably even end up deleting them from here. Others I've just kept out of interest. They're all sort of those Netflix kind of films that some of them are not very good anyhow, and I wouldn't buy them, and they're never gonna be released on a physical form. A lot of it is just slop. Streaming slop films. Netflix are good at that, I think. I mean, I've seen some and really you think they've wasted all that money on it. I'm going on about Netflix, but they do sometimes. I've seen some films on there and I just think, "Oh my good, yeah, what's happening?" Uh, I always forget the names of the other 2, Warden Stenzel and you're you're I don't know what that is. Oh, God, I don't know. Uh, wait a minute. Let's have a look. Don't know anything about Greek mythology. I think Medusa, one of the several beings called Gorgons. I think you're probably right, Tony. I always knew Medusa, but I think you're right. That's why they decided to choose this Gorgon. thing. Yeah, um, I think it's quite effective, especially when they show it um, in the pool. You see the pool, the image in the pool. She's really quite creepy. Yeah, and the effects are quite good. And turning to stone, you see him going into turning into stone. Yeah, it's good. I actually thinking, wow, the budget on this and that they did such a good job. And even the sets, there's not many sets, but they kind of created this castle, but just by a few sets, and it looks good. It does. It looks so good what they've done, and you think that the stage that they would have been on wouldn't be that big, but they weren't. And the way the camera is placed, and they're able to use the camera to create these effects. Low budget Hammer films were absolutely fantastic. I really um, appreciate the sort of skill and of directors like um, uh, Terrence. Yeah, he's just brilliant. Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. There I am. So I forgot his name. Terence Fisher. How could I forget Terence Fisher? Terence Fisher. Yeah, he was just gave so much in terms of his direction to Hammer, and he's a great director. Totally underrated. I suspect a lot of people when they talk about directors don't mention Terence Fisher, and yet he's a massive influence. I think Spielberg said that Hammer had been a big influence on him, and John Carpenter had said the same. Hey, he's here. Let's get him on. Let's see, add to the stage. There he is. Thank you so much. How are you?
Hello, hello. Bearing up. Thanks everybody and thanks to Ian for explaining things. Yeah, my mum's just gone into the EAU, the assessment unit, the emergency assessment unit. Possible infection. Um, it's been a bad week. Just take it like that. I don't want to bring everything down, so just want to say, glad that bastard Tony York's in. Nice to see. I can see Rocket Bun is here, the little shit, and thanks Cy for all of those films that he suggested that I watch. The little bastard who's now made me have to sit down and think about how I'm going to get these films, and and don't sub. I can see he's in here. Nice to see him again in here. That's brilliant. Um, yeah, Slipknot. Hi, I'm just scrolling up, just seeing who's around. Yeah, absolutely brilliant that we've got the normal crowd in. Uh, and yeah, thanks very much for all the support. I've pulled my back as well today, and I'm waiting for an occupational health report before I can go back to work. So yeah, it's been a bit of a disastrous week. The worst part, apart from the emergency assessment unit for my mum, is that she didn't recognize who I am since Sunday, so she doesn't know me anymore. She doesn't mention my name at all. So yeah, it's been a bit of a bad time, but we're here. We're talking about films. What we up to, Ian? What?
Um, I've been talking about what I've sort of the films that I've watched. We were talking about the Gorgon, which
Oh,
is a Hammer
great!
film
That's
that
a
I
Hammer
watched.
film, a great Hammer film.
Yeah, and it's very good. They're talking about Greek mythology. Actually, before I go on, I'd just like to say to everyone, please go and have a look at Delboy's review of Suspiria. I was
Oh,
really impressed because it's no secret. It's one of my all-time favorite films, and he does a really good job. I was very impressed, and I was extremely jealous of that special edition that he's got with the booklet and everything. But honestly, I thought you nailed it really well, especially somebody who doesn't know Argento's work. This is the
No,
first
not.
Argento film you've seen, so I was really impressed, and I recommend people to go and have a look at it.
Well, it's actually the second, but the first one was Cat o' Nine Tails, which was given to me years ago, and I
Yeah,
can't quite really remember it. I know it's in a very thin case, yellow cover, amongst all my collection, and it was my friend Steve Baxter that gave me that. And he was mad on Argento. He loved them. I only knew Argento really from the music, but the thing that I tried to express is that it's a fantastic film, by the way. I just had to watch it twice. That was the only thing, but that's a good thing. I think if you can see a film and you see it the first time, then obviously they've nailed it. But when you have to go and see a film for a second time, just think how good that is, because you've seen it and gone, I'm intrigued, actually, I need to go and see this again. Imagine when this came out in 1977 and people went in and went, oh right, I really need to see this again, and you go and take your girlfriend the second time or something, right? And he will come away going, I get it now, because it's all it takes is two. It's not because of the story, it's just the way it's cut. This is what I tried to explain. But I'll tell you what I think this film is. It's a film for the senses. That's what I tried to express. It's one that's cinematically fantastic, color exceptional, sound suits it down to the ground in the same way that a Morricone and Leone, Sergio Leone film does. If anybody mentions a Western by Sergio, then they always mention the music that's in it and how it suits it. And when I was reading up about it, I found out that the music came first. And actually it was actually made into a song or something, and it was a top song for 2 years in the country that it came from. So I just, please, if you can, go and watch it. There's no forcible here. I just wanted to express that I was recommended this. On that recommendation, I bought it. When I bought it, I watched it. I came on here, I watched it a second time, and then I did my little 30, I think it's about 15 minutes long. So it's actually one of the longer ones of my shorts that I've done, the longest one being Ben-Hur. But that's probably because I've got a bit more of a familiarity with Ben-Hur. But it probably just goes to show what I wanted to say about it, because it took me 15 minutes to actually talk about it. So,
yeah.
So thank you very much to everybody, especially Cy and Ian. They encouraged me really to watch the film. It would have been one that may have been stuck in its wrapper for a few more months, with everything that's going on. And it's got my sister intrigued as well. I told her about it, and she's interested. So, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Next one is, those are the names of the other two. They're on about the Gorgons, the names for the Medusa and all that in mythology.
Well, we know about those. Well, I know about those probably A, because of school, but B, because of Ray Harryhausen more than anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah. And then Sai says, did you know that Alain Delon loves a melon? Oh, dear.
Jesus.
Dear. Oh, dear.
Shall I come back?
Tony, the three Gorgons are Medusa, Cethno, and Uriel. Is that how you pronounce them?
I've read those in books because of the statues that they've found over the years. I've only known of the history of them probably through films, believe it or not, and TV, really. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, and then Tony says, "You dirty old man," sigh. Oh, right, fine. Then I'll laugh at that. And then Tony says, "Didn't know how many they were, Slipknot." Well, you get an education on it, don't you? I shall watch Gorgon tonight. Yeah, you have a watch. You'll love it.
it's a great film.
Yeah. Um, Tony says there's a harrowing film with Jean Reno about the Vichy regime aiding the Germans to track down and imprison French Jews in World War II called The Roundup. That sounds interesting because that's a really interesting period which Mr. Klein looks at as well. We get all that in there. So definitely an interesting period of history. I'm fascinated by it. Um, and Tony says, I think that was a Spanish or French DVD of File of the Golden Goose, Ian. Yeah, that's it. I managed to find a foreign Blu-ray. It's quite an unusual film, partly police procedural with spy elements. Edward Woodward um, is usually good and he's great in Callum.
Hey,
I agree.
Callum.
He was
Yeah,
really good, isn't it? Excellent. And it was a British film and I really enjoyed it. Yul Brynner was interesting, seeing him in this country, because I'm not sort of used to seeing him. And seeing him going around London of that sort of period was is really good. Um, and then I said, "Oh yeah, Edward Woodward plays the head of the neighbourhood watch in Hot Fuzz. I'd forgotten that. I knew he was in
yes,
it. Do you remember him in Hot Fuzz?
yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
I've told
That-
you a little
yeah,
story about Edward Woodward. He liked to do hitchhiking, and my dad picked him up
that's
once and
right.
took him home.
Yes, yeah. Um, Golden Goose reminds me of a big budget extended version of a 60s ITC Adventure Series episode. You're right, actually, Tony. I get that, especially the bloke sort of giving like a commentary in places about it. That's exactly it. It is like ITC, yeah, definitely. And then Slipknot says another interesting bit of info is that when Medusa was unalived by Perseus,
Perseus.
Pegasus, Perseus,
Perseus.
Perseus, Pegasus, Windos, and Chrysaor, a giant, were born from her blood. Oh,
Yeah, it's
wow.
sort of explained in Clash of the Titans how Medusa was turned into what she was because she she what's the word? Um,
Sacrifice.
no, not sacrifice. She defiled a
Oh,
temple,
yeah.
didn't she, by
Oh,
making love to somebody that she wasn't supposed to, and she was
ah,
then
right.
disfigured
Yeah.
for it. So yeah, I mean I don't know how true that because I can't quite remember the story of Medusa.
No.
It did make me. It's funny, but isn't it? Isn't it a good when you see a film and then you hear a story and immediately you want to go to the library? Well, I did want to go
Yeah,
to the library and then
yeah,
find out about these things because there's a lot of stories about Zeus and all about the constellations and all of that sort of stuff. You know, the heroes and villains of Greek
yeah,
mythology are in the
yeah,
stars and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, but Pegasus, yes, I remember that. Her blood
yeah,
also was something that was corrosive, but their blood could create creatures. That's if I remember rightly. When it dropped out of when it dropped, it made certain creatures, and I think Pegasus was one. Yes.
mm. Um, Tony says, "I know of Pegasus, but never heard of Chrysaor." No, I've never heard of Chrysaor. Um, Rocket Bunny. Well, I actually watched a few films since last week. Right, so here we are. F1, the movie, Silent Running, Independence Day, and last night, Earthquake with Charlton Heston and Lorne Green. Wow, what a name, Lorne Green. ultimately entertaining,
Well,
undoubtedly. What can you
what I
say?
can say about that F1 the movie, I know that the people are in two minds about that one. If you're a lifelong F1 fan, like my friend Steve, he hated it.
Yeah,
But there are other people that can see past what it is and watch it as a film. And if you do that, then it's the cinematography is much like Maverick. You know, it's the same sort of camera work that they made for for the second
yeah,
Top Gun film, Maverick. Silent Running. Well, what can you say about Silent Running? It's that hasn't already been said. Silent Running is an absolute classic.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love Silent Running. Independence Day was one of those big 90s or late 80s films that shook us at the time, didn't it? Because we all saw the picture of the White House blowing up and all
yeah,
of those
yeah, yeah,
special buildings across the whole of the world all being blown up. An earthquake. Well, I've got a big tale about that, but I'll cut it short. When I went to Universal Studios, Earthquake is actually one of the tours, and it's the subway section where the tram goes in and it smashes up, and then the water all flows in. And they showed you using the actual equipment of the day, it being done, and it's been made so that it can be cleared up and done as a tour. So they do this earthquake subway section like every 10 minutes because it takes 10 minutes to drain the water and then do it all again. And Earthquake is such a classic film. It's up there with you know, the towering. I think is it Alan that did that? Irwin Allen, was it part of his
I think,
trilogy of
yes,
disaster
yeah,
films?
yeah, yeah,
I think it is, isn't it?
yeah,
And I think it was one of the most expensive films made at the time. I think,
yeah,
if I remember
mm,
rightly.
mm,
I don't know what Charlton Heston thought of it, but I hope he enjoyed it because
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of people have enjoyed that film. Much more, and it's probably much better remembered than all those airport films. Do you remember all the airport
yeah,
films?
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
they had
yeah,
Airport 72, 73, 74. They
yeah,
weren't exactly like really modern with their naming,
yeah.
did they? I remember my friend turning around and saying, "Are you sure the Americans didn't turn around and say where were the first 71 films?" You know, because it was called Airport 72 and
Yeah,
Airport
yeah,
73.
yeah,
Where's the other 71 then?
yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's an old joke. But yeah, I think disaster films are really good to watch and look back upon, even if they do look a bit ropey. Because I'll tell you why it is, because they're high on drama and character building.
Yes, yeah,
You
yeah,
get to know these characters because, you know,
exactly.
like the Towering Inferno, it was like,
Yeah,
oh, you know, he was a fireman and all that sort of stuff, and this bloke was the person that had helped construct the building and was warning them that there was all sorts of problems with it. And then there's
mm,
all the people that are up on the top floor and they've all got to get down. Then you've always got the person that feels that he's entitled to be the first person out,
yeah,
all of that
yeah,
sort of stuff,
yeah,
don't you? They're absolutely
yeah,
fantastic,
yeah,
and it's why sometimes I criticize the Titanic, because the Titanic could have been just like those disaster films, but it was not that type of film. As much as it's a classy film, it could have been done in the style of Earthquake, and I'd have enjoyed it more.
yeah, yeah.
But it turned out to be this
The
love
romance,
interest and
really the
all of this
romance,
sort of
isn't it?
stuff, and it didn't go in. I don't think it went enough into the segregation of class
Yeah, yeah.
very much.
It
It's
suggested
touched
it, but it
upon,
didn't go into
but
it.
not in the way that I think it. If you
Yeah,
look at a documentary on it, you'll see that that's a very big thing to say, because they were locked in and there were gates and chains that they couldn't get through, and they were in the lower section, which means that they were going to die first, and then it was always the classy people that were allowed to go onto the lifeboats first, and it wasn't even about women first and men
no,
second.
true,
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
class.
yeah,
And you know, from I don't think that's expressed enough. I think in Titanic,
yeah,
it's touched upon, but I don't think enough. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So that's my criticism of Titanic.
Actually, I like A Night to Remember. I think A Night
Yes,
to Remember is one of the best. Absolutely love that one.
And not
Yeah.
many people talk about that one, Ian.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got that on my in my collection
They
on
they talk
Blu-ray
of
of it.
they talk on the big ones, but they
Yeah.
don't, talk
Yeah.
about some of these films.
Yeah. It's good. Right. Um, Sai says Rocket Bunny is silent running the sci-fi with Bruce Dern.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, it sounds like circulation causing cold and sprouting. Yeah, it probably is linked a lot with my circulation, my blood, what have you. But there we are. Um, and then Sky says Dern, yeah, Bruce Dern. Rocket Bunny says we need some hot days and nights to warm our houses up. Yeah, I think. Trouble is, at the moment, it's nice outside, but not really warm enough yet. It's true in here. I keep still thinking it hasn't changed. The temperatures, it feels so cold still.
Yeah.
And yeah, you go outside and it's much warmer.
Well,
It's kind of weird.
I did watch the Jolson story, believe it or not, this week.
Right.
Um, and of course, it reminds me straight away that he came out with a song, didn't he? April Showers.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I think May it starts to warm up.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully.
apparently it's going to be 18, 19 degrees by the end of the week.
Well, hopefully. I bet it won't be in here. We'll see. Hopefully it will be. uh, And then Sai says, yes, that's right, Sai. Um, Tony says, they reckon it's going to be dry until at least early May and gradually warming up. Well, I hope you're all being positive and right on that. Yeah. Rocket Bunny, Independence Day is awesome. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
And
don't
Sai
talk
says,
about the second film.
yeah. What do you think of F1? I think that's more your question, not for me.
I think that was to Rocket Bunny, wasn't it?
Oh, oh, oh well.
But I've already said F1. I
Yeah,
liked it. I thought it was all
yeah,
right. I looked past its. Don't look at it from a from a Formula One perspective, because it's totally it's not that if you ever look in the pit, if you've ever been to a pit lane, it's not like that film. Do you know what I mean? But it's really the race sequences are really, really sharp. They were done incredibly well, and they did have executive producers and people like Lewis Hamilton and all of that involved. So they had enough people around them to give them the technical information that they need. But I agree, films like Ferrari and all of this sort of stuff that you've seen are probably better films. But F1 is still a good film, I think. It's one of those films that's divided. That's all. It's just divided.
right. Tony says, I'm wondering what Hammer will do with the films currently available via Indicator, like The Gorgon. Maybe Indicator will release 4K editions, the same as Studio Canal, yeah. The next few releases from Hammer themselves had documentaries about the studio and its output of 50s noirs. Yeah, Hammer seems to be quite slow at the moment.
Yeah,
But
but
they are
did
speaking
you look
up.
at if you go back to when they first introduced this line of films, it turned around and said, we're in a quandary at the moment because as a studio, we've licensed a lot of our films out to studios which have a time limit on them. So we can't officially do our work on them until those licenses run out.
Yeah.
So of course, that's why I suppose a lot of people like Studio Canal are probably going, yeah, let's start bringing them out because our licenses will run out shortly.
Podcast, yeah. Yeah.
Hammer will probably go, yeah, please do, because then we might do a deal with getting those restorations that you've done, and we can do our own documentaries on them and bring them out,
Yeah.
under our label. You know, they won't have to do the restoration work, will they? Because the restoration work's been done by Studio Canal or Indicator or whoever. So it did say that before this line of films came out. But I do think it's stalled. I will say that. I think it's stalled.
Yeah.
I don't even know what came out after the Frankenstein film.
Yeah.
I haven't seen another big box
No.
mentioned. They've been the smaller noir films. Do you know what I mean? That are under
Yeah.
it. And then
That's right.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know which ones were part of that line and which ones weren't, because then they started bringing out stuff with just normal slipcases that aren't in that sort of line. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I've gotten confused. When I
Yeah.
go to the Hammer site now, I don't know quite which ones are the ones that were part of that line and which ones aren't.
Yeah.
But that's me being thick, probably. I don't know.
No, I think that they've kind of they have been sort of almost slowed down, and they're not really. I think people were getting excited and thought, "Oh, we're going to get Dracula and all the big sort of hitting ones."
Yeah.
And Curse of Frankenstein is the only really big one, isn't it?
That's
Really,
right.
that's come
Wow, and
out.
Kronos.
Yeah, Kronos. That did sell out, to be fair, didn't it? It did
Yeah,
sell
all
out.
the others haven't. It's
Yeah,
amazing, that, isn't it?
yeah. The Quatermass one is still available, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, it's just interesting. It's just going to take time, obviously. It's taking a lot of time.
Well, I heard that they were doing it in they were doing a little big thing like Marvel doing, you know, phase one. And phase one was supposed to be 12 titles that come out in a year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think
So that's why I'm
yeah.
saying, well, what's phase two then? What's coming out in phase two? And what was the end of phase one? These are all
Yes.
questions I've got going in my head. I'm going, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Dot Sub Gaming. Hello, good people. Hello, Dot Sub. Welcome. Hope you're doing okay. Thank you for joining us. And then Tony says, "I don't sub." And then Rocket Money says,
I don't know. Don't sub enough for me to call him a bastard yet. So
yes,
I mean, I'm sure if he comes in after a couple of weeks, I'll.
We've got Rocket Bunny saying, "I saw F1 at the cinema last year, and I'm an F1 fan, so I loved it. Unashamed, old school racing movie. Story is a bit throwaway, but the filming is very authentic. And they are an official extra team in the real life F1 grid at many circuits for 2 years."
Yeah, so what he's trying to say there was, if you were watching the Formula One in real life, you'll know that the commentators were saying, today we've got the film crew doing parts of this. This is where Lewis Hamilton was being a sort of like exec on it and helping out. And quite rightly, what he was saying there, it's exceptional the work they did with the cameras, because they use the same cameras as Maverick in those jets. You know what I mean? So the racing is exceptional. What he says there about being an F1 fan, Steve is one of the most hard-nosed Formula One super fans. Hates the film, dislikes it with a passion. It's like, oh, don't even talk about that film. What a piece of shit. Blah 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 blah. So this is where I was saying, both Rocket Bunny and I are Formula One fans. We got enjoyment out of it, but I think sometimes it's nothing. It's not a bad thing that Steve says. It's just that he's such a fan that he goes, I see all of the things in this that are wrong, so I'm gonna dislike it, because he doesn't see it as a film. You see what I mean? It's got to be a story, otherwise it's a documentary, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to have some liberties, but some people don't see beyond those things.
No.
Do you see what I mean? So if you go in wanting to see, you know, a sporty Formula One film with exceptional camera work and a goodish story, go and watch it. It's a thumbs up, you know.
Yeah.
It's just if you're a super fan that wants something like a documentary that Sky would do, you know, with character sort of like portfolios and interviews and stuff like that, you ain't gonna get it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Sai says Netflix should stop making movies and concentrate on making documentaries. They've made some really good documentaries. Has anyone seen Tell Me Who I Am? It's a documentary that goes to dark places.
I will say this about Netflix. I've watched a lot of documentaries on Netflix. I haven't seen that one, but when they do a Netflix documentary, they're usually quite good. I remember the one that talked about that that theme park type thing, the thing that was open in the 70s where they had no safeguards and they had all these rides where people were dying and they had no emergency crews or anything, and the people that were there were people that were just having summer jobs, and all of that. I forgot what the documentary was, but that was an incredible documentary. I watched it and I was engrossed how they got away with it. Some of these rides, there was one like go-karting thing with I swear, like a half concrete pipe, that's been split in half that you ride down, and there's no barriers, no runoffs or anything. You fell off of that, you broke your leg, tough shit. You were like 3 hours away from the nearest hospital or something, and all they had for stuff was bandages. You know what I mean? Flipping it, and nobody who knew anything about CPR or anything. It's like mental. And then they never cleaned all of the water because it was like a water theme park type thing either. People were peeing and shitting in it, all that sort of stuff, and people were going away with all sorts of stomach problems and all sorts of shit. So yeah, it was a great documentary, a brilliant one. So yeah, I agree with Si, and I'm intrigued now to know this Tell Me Who I Am one is. Yeah.
Rocketman says, good evening, sub. And Si says, send in hugs to Del.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. Sorry to hear about your mum. Hope she's better soon. That's Dose upstairs. And Tony, please talk about your week, etc. Del, if it helps.
Well, I didn't want to bring anything down. I suppose what I could do.
Yeah.
I could talk about some things, like thanks to Ian. This is all Ian again, right? I don't know who told me about the From Beyond the Grave, but thanks very much, because I did get that. But that intrigued me enough to get the 7-film Amicus.
Oh, yeah.
Which has got your favorite in there,
Asylum.
It's the one that you interviewed, the one that you reviewed about 2 weeks ago.
The Peter Cushing one,
which is in that top corner. Look, if you see
Dr. Terror's House of Horror, I think it is. Yeah.
So that was cheap, by the way. That was 12 quid.
Wow, that is cheap. That's fair.
And then I think Rocket Bunny told me that Bob told me that I'll like The Housemaid, but it's not good for watching 2 or 3 times. It's one of those films like it's like the seventh, like the Sixth Sense. It's so and then of course I've got the 28 years later Bone Temple Steelbook that's arrived.
That's quite good. Yeah.
But I've got an interesting question actually to raise while we're going through all the stuff. Horror, right? I was thinking about it when I was thinking about what we could discuss. And that horror's got tropes in the 80s. There was a lot of titillation, wasn't there? A lot of gore, slasher type stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think the essence of those 80s films carry on into modern horror films today? Do we still have the teenagers that go to bed and and then have the protagonist put a spike right the way through them while they're making love and all of that sort of stuff that you got in all of those films that we love to see in the 70s and 80s. Do you think that carries on into the modern horrors? Do you think that it's good that we've moved away from those tropes, But I just want to know what tropes that are in horror films now that you see and you thank God that they're still there, and which ones do you think have passed their sell-by date? That's the question, really.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I just thought, well, I'll bring that in just in case we get caught short with something to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So, we'll see what happens there.
So if nobody's gone to sleep because I was talking and they only listen when Ian's talking, maybe you can answer that question. But there you go. You know what I mean? Because I know it's the Ian show and I'm just on the side. But
yeah.
I do like to try and bring a little bit of let's see if we can talk about that. You know what I mean? Into things.
Right. Actually, while we're here, it's just reminded me to myself, it's time for, where Del loses subscribers, but please, if you
Jesus Christ,
please subscribe to his channel. I say it anyway. He always makes the same joke about that he's going to lose some, but he'll get them. He deserves to have more. His channel output is great. Yes, he can't always do other videos, but he does if he gets time, he does. But his blog, which he calls a diary, because that's what it is.
Diary.
It's absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend it. You get all the ups and downs of his life, and it's a great snapshot of how it should be. And I highly recommend it. Anybody who hasn't. So don't forget to watch that. But why not subscribe as well at the same time? So
that's really nice.
In the description, just click that and you can subscribe to him. That's it. That's my selling point.
That is really nice. I do tend to lose people every time.
Oh dear.
And again, it's not about that, is it? It's about you have a channel. You'd like it to be successful, but it's not all about that. For me, it's a diary.
That's what I said,
It's not a blog. A blog is, bloggers that go out there blog about, out here and if you've ever visited this or and all of that sort of stuff. It really is a diary that says, well, what's my week been like then? And then I because I like to partake in information, I like to answer comments, and I like to say what I've watched this week, because maybe there is something that I watch that doesn't come up in your alerts that I'll go, do you know what? That was a bloody good YouTube thing. Like I saw last week the trailer for Spaceballs, and I like the new title for it. It's called Spaceballs: The New One. Instead of the search for more money and all of that sort of stuff, which it was for years that everybody thought that's what the next film was going to be. He said Mel Brooks was on, and he's what, 90 something?
Yeah.
He came on and he said everybody thought it was because they ain't got no money. Well, I found the money. It was down in my basement. And then he shows a suitcase with this money all piled up. He says, and you know what? We've made it, and you can go and see it. And it's out. And I believe it or not, I think it's out April 23rd, which is tomorrow. Which is tomorrow. So
so it is a great channel, and the one thing that we are not and will never ever pretend to be, and I hate the term, is we're influencers. We don't influence anybody. What a stupid term influencers is. It suggests stupid people, really, to me. If you're that weak-minded that you're influenced by what drink somebody's drinking or what fashion thing they've got on, then it seems to me that is a pretty awful thing. But there are people who make the money out of it. Good luck to them, but it's fickle nothing. Anyhow, I didn't go into a full rant, but there we are. Yeah, whatever tickles the fancy. uh, and then I says, "Hi, don't sub. I forgot to change my settings." Oh dear. Um, and then don't sub says, "Hi, Cyro," and um, don't sub says, "I bought the film. That'll be the day, and I loved it. It's my era. Are there any other films like that?" I love That'll Be the Day with Ringo Starr in it, and then
Yeah,
um, uh, David Essex. The follow-up, I think the follow-up is good, Stardust. Um, but the problem was that Ringo Starr didn't appear in it because he felt it was too much like a certain group from Liverpool, because it does in way very much look like the Beatles. But it's really good because it goes into David Essex going into 70s excess and all the drugs, and I really enjoyed it. Watching both together, they were well worth watching together. They just follow on so beautifully. But That'll Be the Day is a good sort of feel of that period. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, great films. Wish I should have in my collection. Which I reminded me to get them. Um, right. Tony says, I have an early Argenta on DVD. Think it's from 1971. Four Flies on grey velvet, but not seen it yet. Anyone watched it?
I think I mentioned it, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Um,
I
I
must admit,
haven't,
I
obviously.
haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it. Um,
And again, have you seen the other films that were mentioned in what was it? One of them was called Inferno.
oh, yeah, I've seen Inferno. I've got that. Yeah, I've got
Yeah, because
Inferno.
it's part because Suspiria
Yeah,
is
yeah.
part of a trilogy, the
Yeah,
Mother's
I
trilogy.
haven't got the last one, the Tears one. It's the very last one. It's later. I haven't got
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, bloody long time between them, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
I found it interesting that it talked about the triangle, where
that's
between
right.
Turin
Yes.
and
Yeah,
all of that. Thought that was interesting, and it was about an occultist.
yeah,
You mentioned an
yeah. That's the
occultist.
triangle. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very much so. Um, Tony says, "Who's in that film? Don't sub. Don't sub."
No, he was asking don't sub who's in that film because of an earlier comment about probably the Beatles.
Ah, oh, right. Oh yeah, don't sub. Sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yes. So you're David Essex, that's it. Ringo Starr, Robert Lindsay, and others. That's it. Ringo Starr.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
I
hard
remember
day's
it.
night they're talking about, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, That'll Be the Day.
Oh right, yeah, that'll be the day.
Good film. I say I saw them both when they came out. Um, and then do some gaming. That looks great. Another right up my street, added to my Amazon watch list. Ah,
I think
brilliant.
there's that. I think there's a couple of Beatles documentaries that got some bad press, wasn't there? There was the bloke Peter Jackson did one that got bad press, but the one that
Oh, yeah.
I think the one that Ron Howard did got nicer reviews or something. I think it was because Peter Jackson, with all his money, did a lot of editing of cleaning up the sound and bringing out a song, or he did something where Paul McCartney could sing with John Lennon again or something, didn't he, or something in that
Yeah.
documentary.
Yeah, I
um
think they did some of that kind of stuff. Isn't
I, I
there
i remember that one of the documentaries is bloody long. It's in like two parts and
yeah,
it takes about
yeah,
6 hours to watch or something.
yeah. Um, isn't this year there's supposedly biographies of all the Beatles starting to come out?
Yeah,
I'm sure there is. Which I don't know how that's going to work out, but I think each Beatle is getting a biography. But There we are.
Yeah. But I mean, I must admit, I did watch the Peter Jackson one. I did watch the Ron Howard. I thought they were very enjoyable. That's probably because I get more into the information I'm getting out of it than I am about anything else.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's sometimes it should be criticized the way that you tell it,
yeah,
rather than, you know, as long as the information's in there and it's entertaining and enjoyable. It's great. Maybe it was overlong. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't
Well,
remember my bum. I
originally,
don't remember my bum turning around and
yeah,
saying, "Get off your ass, bloody hell! I'm going to sleep here."
because if
So
you remember, they originally released Let It Be as a film, and that obviously was cut back quite a bit, and that was bits from all that sort of session, but they obviously had a lot of footage was
yeah, because
taken.
there was a lot of footage that wasn't in it that they cleaned up and brought in, didn't they?
Yeah,
So
and then, of course, there's the other thing is that, some people don't like the Phil Spector production, so they took that out and released, another version of Let It Be, of the songs without the Phil Spector production. So, there's that.
yeah, I love Phil Spector, don't you?
Well, I don't
His
I quite
his
like
wall,
it
his
on
wall
paper.
of sound.
Yeah,
What a great thing.
yeah. Um, I mean, those tracks, like The Long and Winding Road, for instance,
Yeah.
with Phil Spector's production is great. You know, there's some great songs
What's
there.
that one in Goodfellas? He brings his girlfriend through that whole of that restaurant, and then he sits
Oh,
at the table, and then he kissed me, wasn't it? He said, I woke up and I wanted to dance.
yeah, yeah.
I've forgotten what it's, but is it done by the Supremes or something? I don't know. But
Uh,
that's got a Phil Spector. You can tell
yeah,
the
that
wall
is
of
it
sound.
Ronette. Oh, Shangri-La.
Yeah, the Renette.
One of
Yes,
those,
that's right.
Ronette.
Yeah.
Yeah, great film that. Great scene. Yeah, it's really good and takes you back. That's what we say about the film. Have you tried the Beatles film, Don't Stop? Yeah, here we are. Hard Day's Night. Oh, that's a great one. Great one. Love Hard Day's Night. Yeah, with the old man Steptoes, Paul's uncle. Um, yeah, that's the one. Tony says. Si says, I saw a trailer for a new film called Idiot. It looks like a drug-filled, crazy crime caper. It looks mad. I'm definitely going to go and watch it. Oh, well, it's a good recommendation. A crime caper.
Ah, by the way, Ian, Don't Sub has just put, it's called Then He Kissed Me by the Crystals.
Ah, the Crystals. Brilliant. Uh,
I just think it's got a fantastic
yeah,
background,
yeah,
you know, because the way Spectre did it, he got all these artists, didn't he, to sort of like
yeah,
do just bits like the drums
yeah,
and all of this. And then you had the normal regular session
yeah,
players. And
yeah,
he added that in the background like a rhythm thing.
yeah, yeah,
And it's got a fantastic rhythm, Then He Kissed Me.
yeah,
I mean, I think that stands out as if you want to know about Phil Spector, go and listen to that song,
yeah,
because
yeah,
you'll learn everything about it from that
yeah,
one song.
yeah. Rocket Money says, I forgot another film I watched was Sly Stallone's The Expendables. Never
Oh,
seen any of those, and they had the 4K stream cheap on Amazon. I actually really enjoyed it. I watched 2 and 3, I think. I've
oh,
never seen The Expendables.
yeah, but do you remember?
Did you
All in the last 5-6 weeks, I've said ITV is showing these films. They've been showing Rocky and all that, and I
Yeah,
said The Expendables was on, didn't
they
I?
have been.
And
Yeah,
I said, and I turned around and said the first one. You know, I remember, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was. Second one and third one, and oh my god, they get worse,
well,
and you can.
Rocket Money, it might be worth having a look on the ITV, and then if you could get them, it might be nice.
I mean, obviously, watch it on there because you won't get the
Yeah,
adverts. All I'm saying to you is
yeah,
I've got them. I've got them on 4K, right, in
yeah,
steelbooks and stuff. You know, I mean, but what you have to understand is when you get to the fourth one, because there is a fourth, Stallone is at the beginning, and then you don't
Off
see
it
him
goes.
for an hour and
Yeah.
a half, and the reason for that was he didn't want to do it. And that probably tells you everything about it, because I think what happened was Expendables was well received, but when they tried to do a second and third, studio interference tried to knock it down to a PG. And that's the death knell of an action film, because you can't show anything. You can't put you can't see knives going into people's and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be so it really ends up being just a stunt film. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it because I like watching suddenly, oh my God, Mel Gibson's in this. Oh my God, it's like that, Harrison Ford's in it. Jesus Christ. Who'd have thought Harrison Ford would be in an Expendables film, or whatever it is, So I enjoyed it from that perspective. It was like, oh, the who's who of watching talent come in, But there you go. Not much for the film, not much for the story.
No.
It's like a bloke goes around in a big plane into territories where there's wars going on, and he rescues people. That's pretty much what they all are. It's like Tales of the Gold Monkey had a bloke that hired his plane, didn't he, to go do these little spy missions. That's pretty much Expendables, isn't it? It's Tales of the Gold Monkey, but a modern day one. If you can remember Tales of the Gold, that's a TV program.
Yeah, I remember that well. Yeah,
that didn't last very long.
Tony says, talking of Independence Day, why could the aliens return today and dispose of the government to the White House? Yes,
it'd be really nice, wouldn't it?
It would. So I says, Tony, it's slowly becoming the Shite House.
Well, it's been that for years.
Yeah. Rocket Bunny, Tony, I think when the White House got nuked, I closed my eyes and said to myself, if only. Yes.
You know what? I think if I remember rightly, the VHS and the DVD covers had lenticular covers, didn't it? Where you saw the light come down and blow things up, and you tilted it and it hit.
Great. And then we've got Frank Holder saying, with regard to F1 film, if you watch the first 30 minutes, you'd see that the main character, Sonny Hayes, would never be given an F1 super license. Simple as that. I know nothing about F1, so I wouldn't know about that. He says, also, if you want to watch a great F1 film, watch Grand Prix. Yeah, I've seen that, 1966. That is superb. Yeah.
Used to be shown on BBC. Frank's right. Used to be shown on BBC Two a lot.
Yeah.
Usually followed up by Elvis Presley being a Formula One driver,
which is probably a different class altogether.
Which is a totally different direction. Wasn't that the one with what's her name? Who's in Grumpy Old Men? Anne. What's her name? Redhead, big boobs. What's her name?
Oh, Anne Margaret.
And Margaret was in the Elvis Presley Formula One, wasn't
it? Let's have a look. Tony says, I think Hammer are concentrating on the new line they recently launched, which are little-known British horror thrillers from other studios. That does seem to be at the moment what they're doing, yeah. And then Dope Sub says, 70 Up is being shown this year. I've been watching these all my life. Oh, sadly, this is going to be the last one. But are any of you looking forward to it?
That's that thing that they showed at schools, wasn't it? Where they had people that were interviewed at the ages of 9, 10, whatever it was, and then every 7 years or something, or 10 years or whatever it was, they interviewed them again, didn't they? And it's called 70 Up, 30 Up, 20 Up, and all that sort of stuff. Is that right? Is that what we're talking about there?
That's right, exactly. Yeah. Crikey. I would imagine that it has to be the last one. Yeah, it is going to be the last one.
But if he's asking, were you looking forward to it? I am now. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
forgotten all about them.
yeah. Um, and then Tony says, "Never really followed it, Johnson. I did see bits of some fairly early episodes. Yeah. Um, the Rocket was it with regard to F1 movie. I'll be blunt to fans that criticism of F1 or indeed any sports film. If you want the real thing, watch the real thing. It's a fictional film in a made-up world."
Yeah,
I get you totally.
like I said, you've got to look past it. You got to
That's what
look
I always
past.
say about historical dramas. It you can't have a true historical, dramas and events. It's that world. It's what particular,
Yeah.
like
There's no,
Braveheart. We
there's
always
no
talk
point
about.
looking
It's
to
not.
see whether a film
Yeah,
like Babe, which is
yeah,
about baseball, or The
yeah,
Natural, or anything like that, going, it's a made up story.
yeah,
I mean, Field of Dreams, is not about the baseball.
yeah,
If you build it, he will come. Blah 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 blah
yeah.
blah. I haven't seen that film in years, actually. Field of Dreams. Oh,
Mm,
I will watch that again. I used to like that film. Anyway, he's quite
Um,
right. Rocket Bunny is spot on, really.
yeah, he is. Um, Here's a question for you: is that Seven Amicus set Blu-ray, Del?
Yes, it is.
Brilliant. That's great value.
I don't know if it will come up on the camera, but it says down there Blu-ray. Look, it's got the Blu-ray symbol. 7 Blu-ray. It says.
That's fantastic. You can't really argue with that, can you?
I got it for $14.99.
Brilliant.
Amazon. It was in Amazon,
Yeah,
but I don't know how much it is now. It took an absolute age for me to get it.
yeah,
So I think it came from France.
yeah. I ordered from Rare Waves, that Mr.
Yeah.
Klein, and it's taken about 3 weeks, at
Yeah.
least 3 weeks. I didn't realise Rare Waves is pretty slow, isn't it? I was getting worried that it weren't coming, but it did arrive. Um, but it was cheap. It was cheap. That's why I went for it. uh, and then I've been watching the ever since I can remember. Michael Apter directed most of them, if I remember correctly. All right, is that the Expendables?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, yeah. Um, the Seven Up show that is.
Oh, he's talking about the 7
yeah,
Up show, yeah,
yeah.
because
So
yeah.
I says, yeah, but sadly he's passed on, so this will be the end. Yeah. Um, and then so I says, I'll definitely be watching 70 Up.
Well, this is what I like about 70 Up, is that it makes you want to go back and watch the originals, and then you'll see the whole thing. It's almost like what it was like with your Star Wars films. We waited how long for the prequel to come along, and then it was like those 3, which would then join up those original 3, and you go, oh,
yeah.
so in my 40s, I finally got to see the whole thing, which was 6 films, but then they went and tapped on another 3, didn't they, on the end?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like I've waited all my life to see the end of how this works, how this whole Star Wars thing started, and all of that sort of stuff. So we were excited because then it made it 6 films, originally 3, now it's 6. I think we got pissed off when it went to 9.
Yeah, the sequels. We won't talk about the sequels. Rocket Bunny says, random compliment. I really like your backdrop tonight, Del. Very cool. But bugger you, as now I have the Captain Scarlet thing going round and round in my head. Yeah.
Do you know what? It's such a fantastic thing. Barry Gray, right? I've talked about Barry Gray before. I think, although he did do some film work, his TV stuff was just exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. There is an interview with Barry Gray talking about how he used to portray his music to Anderson. You know, I don't know why they stopped. I don't know whether it's because he died, but Space 1999 had Barry Gray in the first season, then it had somebody totally different in the second. It turned into a more disco beat type thing. Bloody awful. And then we didn't really hear from Barry Gray again. But like Jerry Goldsmith, Barry Gray to me is like king. But he's king for TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But of course, the original Captain Scarlet theme was Barry Gray, but then he made up a band called the Spectrums, didn't he?
Yeah.
Added words to it, but you didn't hear the words to the music until about episode 14, something like that. But anyway, I'm going on a bit now about soundtracks.
No,
I shouldn't do, should I?
That's all right. And then cheers, Rocket Bunny. I have now. And Tony says, horror. Recently watched Mario Brava's Blood and Black Lace. Oh, yeah, I've seen that one. There was an interesting documentary on the disc detailing the history of Giallo. The origins were in the German crime films of the late 50s and 60s. These developed into Giallo in the late 60s. After they declined in popularity in the late 70s, they eventually ended up as the American slashers of the 80s. Oh, that's an interesting origin there. So another comment, Sly Robson. Anytime, mate, getting to be a weekly thing now, which TV theme can I fill everyone's head with each week? That's a good one. And then we've got Slipknot. Speaking of Titanic, I discovered there was a nurse by the name of Violet Jessup who survived both sinkings of the Titanic and Britannic. Oh yeah, and one crashing of the Olympic. All three are sister ships.
Sister ships, yeah, they were.
Interesting. You've not heard about that story.
Yeah, don't you remember that they had 3 funnels? And,
I know there was the 3 things, but this same woman, Violet Jessup. Interesting. And then we've got now she must be the most unluckiest person in the history of the world. Yeah, that is unlucky. And then Tony says, Rocket, Flashing Blade, late 60s, 70s, French adventure. Right, Rocket. So, the luckiest considering she survived. That's true. That's a way of looking at it. Yeah. Rocket was. I actually really enjoyed the Peter Jackson Let It Be documentary. Looks stunning, like it was filmed yesterday. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. And there we are. And then Tony says, I'm still hearing Flashing Blade. There we are. Oh, and here he is, the man himself. It's Jim Jam. Good evening. Good evening, Jim Jam. Welcome, as usual.
Hi, Jim Jam. You got to fight for what you want and all that you believe. Just tell you that.
And then he's
did you get hang on? Did you get that then?
What you've got to fight for what you believe.
What you want, or all that you believe. The Flashing Blade, you miserable sod.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh my God. Right.
I'm not going to get excited. I know you are. I'm being a miserable old sod answer. Yeah. And then here for a minute. Hello. You won't be here now, will you?
You'll be gone now.
And then good evening, Lord Network. Don't get that. I'll just start bowing down to him next. Hi, Jim Jamsai says, hi, Rocket Bunny and Tony. And Joseph says, then he kissed me, the crystals. That's what you mentioned when I was talking that you'd read. Sai says, I saw some funny comments. People saying I'm not getting on a boat with her. Yeah, um, quite right. Size of Slipknot. Barrackers would get on a plane to avoid getting on a
Getting on a
ship
ship
with
with her.
us. Yeah, and then laugh out loud, Slipknot. And what would you guys consider to be the royal flush of motion pictures? I'm not quite sure.
You got to think of a royal flush, so that's what, 5.
Uh, uh, you mean an actual film that you would consider 5 or a
No, it
series?
doesn't. They don't have to be. They don't have. I think what he's saying is what is the royal flush of motion pictures. It doesn't mean it's a series of 5 films like Halloween 1 to 5. It'll be like, right, Star Trek the motion picture, Blade Runner, whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You just do here. What are your top 5? In other words, I think.
Oh, I see.
Motion pictures.
Oh, okay.
And I always find it a bit difficult because I go back so many years with stuff, you know, that I could turn around and say,
Yeah.
well, Ben-Hur and all of this sort of stuff, and all the way up to modern. And it's very difficult because there's so many genres.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie has blooming given me this task of picking 10 films from the 80s, my top 10 films from the 80s. I'm doing it, but it's impossible. It's totally impossible. It really
He
is.
didn't. He didn't ask me, did he? Because
No, well, I can't really get out of it because he did it. He actually did it on the blooming video. I can't. It's not hidden away. He says, "Oh, Ian, yeah, I want your thing." So I've been sat here worrying about what to pick.
Because I have, believe it or not, I have watched it because I know he put The Killer in and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and he showed off Blade Runner in there, didn't he? And a few other
I've
films.
had to pick. I found actually the 80s is one where there's a lot of sort of obvious ones. There's a lot of obvious ones. So to show you that there's a lot of strong films. And if I put all the obvious ones in, it means I'm not the other ones that I like as well. So I've decided I'll probably do the obvious ones because apart from my number one will be you'll know
this is the difficulty. Just think about how many films Spielberg came out with in the 80s.
It's just stacked. Yeah.
I mean, just that alone.
Yeah.
You got to turn around and go, right, here's my top 10 of the 80s. Jesus Christ.
Well, mine straight away was obvious what number one would be, which not many people, maybe you might agree partly, but most people think it's a terrible film or a total mistake. But I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I'll still stand by it. That'll be my number one.
I thank God it weren't the 70s because I tell you what, there's no bloody way I'm putting Condor Man in it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, my number one.
You see, I mean, here you go. Look, somebody's just put down there. Yeah, I mean, he put Aliens, didn't he? Down, I think.
Yeah.
And again, he said it was. This is where it's really good because I agree with Muttman. You have to do this personally, and it's been his favorite film for years and years and years and years and years. I loved Aliens, but I always turned around and said, not as good as Alien.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? But then again, that probably just shows that I like a more slower approach than I like all-out war. I do like the excitement of all-out war, but it's just that it's a very loud film. You know what I mean? I like the idea of this thing going around and picking them off one by one and all of this sort of stuff. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll say what I've chosen as my favourite, and it is my favourite. I don't care what anybody says. Is Dune 1984?
Yeah, Dune's got to be there, isn't it?
And people hate it. People really go mad about it. But then there are followers who know what they know, and it's a flawed masterpiece, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it, and that's going to be my number one.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll have to have a think, and maybe we'll do right at the end, right, our top five, because it gives me
yeah,
time to think about it
yeah.
before we do the signing off. You know
But
what I
I've
mean?
got the blooming 10 I had to do for Muckman, and I wrote down, and there were already 20 on there before I'd even
Oh,
got going.
I don't think he included Back to the Future, did he?
No, well, that's why I'm going to include it. I'm including Back to the Future because you can't not. I mean,
I mean,
Back to the Future.
I mean, I still love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and that's 1980, 87,
Oh
88.
yeah, you see, you've done it now. You've just ruined it because I'm think that as well. I don't know what to blooming choose. It's oh, I don't know. Uh,
Wow, tough shit.
Anyhow,
If I've made it hard for you, what a shame.
you have, yeah.
Because I'm not doing it.
Well, I've got to do it. I'll tell you what I am going to stick in, and I don't care what he says. I'm putting an Argento film in, so I'm putting opera. I'm going to
Opera,
put
yeah.
opera in. Yeah,
Because that's one that Size
definitely.
told me I've got to watch. I've got it written down.
The 1985 opera, so that could go in. Anyhow.
Deep Red is the next film for me. I had to order it today.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll love Deep Red. Yeah.
See that side interfering, right? I mean, I could have downloaded it, but no, he said get it. I had to look around and see if I could find a special edition type thing. I got the best one that I could, but it wasn't from Amazon UK. I had to go to Amazon Italy, I think.
Oh. Oh. Mm. Oh well, we'd be interested what you think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Tony says rare waves are usually quite slow. They are. This is what I was thinking with deliveries. Ordered quite a few things over the years from both UK and US shops, but they always turned up eventually. That is true. You just have to just be patient and wait and wait. But it was well worth waiting. I loved waiting. And then Don't Sub says, thanks Ian for the recommended. I just ordered Starbucks from Amazon, 7.97 bargain. Brilliant. You've done well there.
Stardust?
9.
Were we talking about Stardust earlier then?
Yeah, it was that'll be the day and Stardust,
Oh, right, the David Essex thing,
yeah.
is it? Yeah,
They're really good films. Really good.
That's where he did his he had a few hit singles from that Stardust, didn't he? Didn't he have Rave On or something or whatever it was? I'm gonna make you a star or something. Rock On or something like that.
I don't know. I've forgotten. I think he probably did have one. Actually, yeah, I think there is a star. There is something I think about Stardust. I'm sure you're right. He did have one.
Because isn't Stardust the what? Isn't I'm gonna make you a star. That one with that synth in it that goes.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones that you get in your head and you can't get rid of, like an earworm.
He did. Dave Edmunds. You remember Dave Edmunds? He was involved in writing like the Beatle type songs that they did as when they're really good. I used to have that soundtrack on record of all the songs. I wonder if it's still available on CD. Might be worth looking up if it is. Really good. I like the songs. Slipknot's I'd have to say The Sting, Big Trouble in Little China, The Empire Strikes Back, The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly, and Blade Runner.
Oh, so that's his 5. That's his royal flush.
Wow. I mean, what can you say? They're all.
I mean, the Sting is exceptional.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China. I always loved, but I need to go back to it because the last time I watched it, I wasn't enamored.
Yeah,
Empire Strikes Back, we talked about last week. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I always have a heads or tails between Once Upon a Time in the West or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And Blade Runner 2049 is an exceptional sequel.
yeah,
But I still always watch Blade Runner over Blade Runner 2049.
yeah.
But as
It
far
is.
as I'm
Yeah,
concerned, that's really hard to say which one is the better
yeah,
out of those two because
yeah,
I get trapped in that.
yeah,
Blade Runner 2049 looks more modern than Blade Runner is not aged well, but
yeah,
Blade Runner's got the
yeah,
exceptional background to it that we all know now, and all the mystery of what it all meant and all of that sort of
mm,
stuff. And if you even go further, you'll know that um, it's got the Ray Bradbury building in it, and that's a
mm,
famous building, and it was waterlogged and all of that sort of stuff. And he filmed it because of its gloomy,
mm.
depressing look and all of that sort of stuff. They're both exceptional films. I'd be hard pressed with Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. I really would.
Yeah. It's a good sequel, isn't it? It
It's an
really is a good
exceptional
sequel.
sequel, and
Yeah,
it looks stunning in 4K.
mm,
It
yeah,
really does look
it
good.
does, yeah. Um, and then Rocket Boy says, "Hang on, I thought a royal flush was 5 cards." Yeah. Um, Tony says, "I'd forgotten the words, Del. Just have the music going round in my head."
Oh, that's the flashing
Yeah.
blade. Yeah.
And then Rocket Bunny, that's 5 films. Um, I think I need new eyes. Yeah, I often do, I think. Here we are. Is Tony's flush. Zulu. That's good. Zulu Dawn. Oh, yeah, here we are. Sweeney. Sweeney too. Can't think of it.
Do you know he'll
I'm not
probably
saying you're
he'll probably
focused on those.
when Kojak finished, they went into films, didn't they? I bet you he'll choose a Kojak film or something.
But the Sweeney, I know, and Zulu. There is film. Zulu is. Um, And so I said, "Do you think that the good, the bad, and the ugly was 3 films?" Didn't you? Yeah, yeah. Um, I thought it was 4. Isn't there one? Says, uh, so I said, "Wow, some pretty eclectic and great choices." I missed some classics, but I had to go with my heart. Well, that's what you do. I think
Yeah.
you go with your heart. You don't go with your intellect. Yeah, you can know the limitations, what people believe is, and all the arguments. But if your heart's with a film, go with it. Yeah, definitely. 5 movies beyond reproach. I mean, yeah. Uh, Rocket says Ace's Eye, Star Wars, Blade Runner, Alien, oh Tron, and the Untouchables. Interesting choice.
Brian De
Untouchables.
Palma, bloody hell, yeah.
Yeah. Won't talk about Tron, but Del, as much as I love it, you can't have Manimal either. That's a TV series. There you are, Del. You can't have a Manimal.
What a piece of shit that is, Manimal.
You cannot have it. Ace's Eye is a good choice, Rocket.
No, it
Doesn't
doesn't.
get mentioned much these days. That's probably right as well. Yeah. And don't say my 5 in no order: The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Empire Strikes Back, Tron, The Breakfast Club, and Dune original. Oh, you're in now. You're in. You're in.
Interesting that the John Hughes film he's chosen is The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
The film where it's just about detention. I never really ranked that film, but this is where it's great to see what people's eclectic sort of like collections are or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad film because it's a great film. It's an 80s classic, isn't it? Breakfast Club. But it's like I wouldn't choose Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles. I thought all of those early ones were pretty. I'd choose St. Elmo's Fire over Breakfast Club. You know what I mean? But there you go. I just found the Breakfast Club to be a bit boring, really. You know, kids at detention, great. Saturday morning, they're all trapped together. I suppose as a character building film.
It is well thought of. Some people do love it, but obviously it's one that he loves. And you can't argue what people love anyhow. It says, "I'm so glad that you've ordered Deep Red Del. You're going to love it." There you are.
I hope so.
We'll be expecting, of course, a review of it as well.
Yeah, I've got to do that.
Yeah, you've got to do another review. And then Tony says, no, I was referring to my poke hand, not the film, although it's good, I agree. Yes. Ace's Eye, that is, Rocket Boy. And then I left there.
Yeah, because it's Ace and Tie is a card game, isn't it? So.
Yeah. The 5 I'm going to go with is The Godfather 2. Oh, Shawshank. Of course, yeah. It's another 80. Goodfellas, Apocalypse Now, Blade Runner. Oh, it gets more worrying. I can't do 10. I can't do 10.
No, that isn't the 80s. It's just 5. 5 feels really era.
Shawshank's 80s, isn't it?
Hey?
Shawshank Redemption's 80s.
Yeah, but what he's doing is he's doing the top 5 of all time, not the 80s.
Yeah, I know he is. I was just thinking ahead, you see, of 80s films. That
yeah, but you have got the Shawshank to think about, yeah.
Yeah.
What about
See, it's impossible.
Stand by Me?
You can't. Yeah. You can't do it. Can't do it. And my favorite Stephen King one as well is The Dead Zone. I've always been a big fan of The Dead Zone.
You got Misery, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, what we're going to... Yeah. Anyway. Del, stop it. Now I'm humming UFO. There you are. You keep getting into people's heads.
Yeah, because did you notice I changed my picture?
Yes, that's right. I can't think of UFO theme because of this flashing blade. Oh, the flashing blade has done him. So, for the record, Condom Man was just picked by Blade Runner 2049 top 5.
Bloody hell.
Oh,
Condom Man, I'll tell you what, there's dirt, shit, and Condom Man, right? That's down there.
Have you heard of the adult version of Condom Man? Condom Man.
Condom Man, Jesus.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah, don't call us, we'll call you. Yeah.
And having a good laugh here still. Right, Rocky. I've had The Godfather on my watch list for so long now. I still haven't watched it. Oh, I'm such a Philistine. I shall leave this channel immediately. Sorry.
No, I'll tell you what. The bet. This is just me, right? But it's up to you whether you want to take it in. The Godfather trilogy. The best time to watch it is a bank holiday.
Mm.
Right, it's one of those films where you just go, do you know what? Bank holiday Monday, I'm doing bugger all. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a duvet day, and you just put it on.
Yeah.
Because the second film is so long.
Yeah.
It really is long, but it's so good.
Yeah.
That you'll just go straight into the third one, and maybe you'll be a bit disappointed.
The third one is disappointing.
But, I still. I mean, they've done another cut of that now. I mean, it's not that bad. People, I think it's just because of the quality of the first two, to be quite honest, that people rabbit on about the third one so much. But there you go.
Right. Oh God, this is a great question, but I'm trying to think. Sandy says, "What a film you thought would be boring?" that turned out to be great. Mm. Uh,
Oh God.
um, it's a good question.
Oh, um, for the girlies, Steel Magnolia.
All right.
I thought, the Three Fugitives I thought might have been boring, but actually turned out to be great.
Oh, I know. You know, I know one that people perhaps even today think is boring, and I might have done, but I soon got into it, which is All the President's Men. I think because it's a study
Yeah,
in journalism, and people probably thought, "Oh, who wants to watch a film where there's these two journalists, just talking
yeah.
about this and that?"
That's a very good point, because
Yeah,
it's a piece of history, isn't it? So,
yeah, yeah,
people look at these things and go, do you know what? If I don't really know much about the Watergate scandal and all of that sort of stuff, you know, um, I suppose there's a lot that you thought would be boring. I mean, just by the title, you see what I mean? I mean, you see a
yeah,
title like Forrest Gump, and you just go,
yeah,
"What's that going to be like?"
yeah.
And
I
then
thought that's a good.
but you actually come away going, "Wow."
Yeah, for quite a few years, I resisted watching Forrest Gump. It just didn't appeal to me. I thought, "Oh, this is gonna be pretty boring."
I'll
And
tell
then
you
I
one.
watched it and enjoyed it.
I'll
I
tell you my
surprised.
top one, Ian.
Yeah?
I thought this was going to be really, really boring, and I came away really, really impressed. And that was A Beautiful Mind.
Ah, yes. Yeah, yeah,
I thought maths
yeah,
and all of
yeah,
this sort of stuff.
yeah. I get
And I
that
came
totally.
away going, wow, what a great music score. This bloke's going mental. He had to go into an asylum. He didn't know what was reality, what wasn't. I thought, wow, what a great film.
Yeah.
I mean, Cocoon is another one, I suppose.
Oh, Cocoon, I love it. Yeah. It's one I go back to quite a bit. Um,
You know what I mean? It's like you
yeah.
saw Cocoon, and then you heard that they were making a sequel, Cocoon 2, right? And there's a load of old fogies, and they go
Yeah.
into a pool, and they suddenly start playing basketball and all that sort of shit. You just think to yourself, that sounds boring.
Yeah.
But you come away going, wow, I was entertained.
Yeah. But even my mum and dad liked Cocoon, which surprised
Yeah.
me. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me because they could at their time relate to it, I think. And I thought, well, it's fantastic. They like a sci-fi film. They don't realize that they're watching a
Yeah,
sci-fi film as well.
I thought Batteries Not Included was going to be shit.
Yeah, yeah. I
But I
think,
actually really like the fact that there's this building that they're standing behind, and they're not going to let anybody demolish it. And there's all these little
yeah,
robots going around
yeah,
fixing things and stuff. It's actually quite good.
yeah. Mind you, I think sometimes a name though can reflect the music. I'm going to be controversial here. This is a group who I think has got a terrible name and they're overrated. I do have one of their CDs in my collection, and I don't know why. It's a group called Elbow. I mean, who the hell thought of that as a name? Oh, let's have a great name. Let's call ourselves Elbow. And they were one of those groups that all these sort of critics went, "Oh, they're fantastic," and
Well, they did it. They did it.
cried over them.
Their number one track was in an advert for years, wasn't it?
And they were just, what a name! I mean, Elbow. What an awful name for a group.
Yeah, good job that the lead singer wasn't called Hootie.
Yeah.
Hootie Elbow.
Oh, you can be called. I don't know. I just, I mean, it's just such a dull name.
That's one for the old folk, isn't it? Hootie
Old
Elbow.
folk. The old folk. But there's films I'm sure that I've have this title, just a one-word title,
Yeah.
and you think, oh, but it just shows that we shouldn't judge things, or
Yeah.
sometimes we should. Yeah. Uh, oh, Ian, with Bernard Manning style jokes. Oh, did I do the Bernard? Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
condom man. Yeah,
Condom man. God's
yeah,
sake.
yeah, yeah. Bernard Manning. Cracky, there's a name.
Yeah.
Sandy, I would have to say the original Solaris. No, that's an interesting choice. Solaris. I've not seen it, but a lot of people have talked about that film.
Yeah.
The Russian film, isn't it? Is it Russian? And then they remade it, didn't they? American. Was it George Clooney or somebody like that? Mm. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, so it says, "Oh, The Greatest Showman," but I would never admit that. Oh, you like that, did you? The Greatest Showman. That's a film that I wouldn't rush to watch. I
No.
wouldn't rush to watch. I just don't
I
quite
can
feel.
think of better circus films.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd
yeah,
rather watch Trapeze than The Greatest Showman.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, Burt Lancaster. Is it Burt Lancaster? Yeah,
Yeah, Tony
yeah.
Curtis.
Oh, yeah. I'd rather watch. Yeah. Um,
Another one that I used to watch at bank holidays, that is Trapeze.
yeah. Rocket Bunny says, with regard to Beatles films, what is your favourite? For me, it's Magical Mystery. So that's interesting. I think because when I first watched it in my early 20s, I was drunk, high, and friends were all really enjoying it. Actually, the Beatles would probably be saying, yes, that's exactly how you enjoy that film, Magical Mystery Tour. But it's got some great music. I've got the sort of extended CD, and the music is fantastic. It does have some great music on there, but it's not one that people would say. If you was ranking Beatles films, it wouldn't be at the bottom. I think Yellow Submarine would be at the bottom, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the top one. Definitely, I think Hard Day's Night is the top one, isn't it? That's the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Hard Day's Night.
Well, the most well known, I think.
Yeah. And then Si says, I always thought that Elbow was a Spanish archer. Oh.
Yeah. You can always rely on Si, can't you?
And then Rocket Bunny says, they are actually going to beat us with the comments tonight, I think. Let's have a look. What is that A1 bot with all the questions when we need it?
Yeah, where's that AI bot?
Yeah. They're going too fast. It's going fast. Oh, good. I've got somebody who agrees with me. The Dead Zone is incredible. It is. It is. It's so well made as a film. The story is a great story. I like the way that you get two stories. You get the serial killer, and then you get the bigger picture when he sees about the nuclear bomb and the president. It's such a great film. It just works so well. I love it. Fantastic film. We are getting to the bottom now. Let's have a look. Where's the acres of movies when you need one to go that quick? Yeah. I get you in that one. And then bring back Stacy, or perhaps not. Yes, yeah. Oh dear.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I did raise a question that nobody has given an answer to. Do you see what I mean? I did turn around and say, tropes in horror films and what that no, the people don't listen to me. They've listened to everything else. And like I said.
But we can still talk about it. Who's been watching The Boys final season, 4 episodes. I'm sorry, I've not watched The Boys at all. And I think you're the same, aren't you?
I got to the first 2 seasons and I said that I was going to catch up with it. And,
Yeah.
by the way, are you not going to have in your 80s films True Romance then?
Well, you see, you've done. I had it written
See,
down.
I'm just trying to be a bastard to you. You see now.
You are. I wrote down all the films. It is a bastard. I mean, True Romance is such a good film. I can't cope. Is that Jamie? Blame Jamie. He's not in tonight. He's hiding. Blimey, he's a sod, isn't he? He's an absolute sod.
Yeah, Size just turned around and said, "I think True Romance is the '90s." I think it was actually.
Is it? Oh well, that's good. Thank God for that. He's still a sod though, Jamie. Favorite 29 films from 8 years, starting with 1929. You sod. Yeah.
You can Tony York. Can you see Tony York? He can sod off. Because I tell you what, we'd probably try and attempt it, right? He'd write down every film, look at his DVD collection, and post them all to you. He's that sort of a bastard.
And then Walken's classic line, the ice
is going to break.
Break. Yeah. Rocket Bunny. Magical Mystery Tour has such great songs on the album. Here we are. They are Fool on the Hill.
Fool on the Hill is great.
Strawberry Fields. Never understand why people rave about Pepper and not Magical Mystery Tour. It's a good point. No, I have to admit I do like Sgt. Pepper a lot, but I like it.
Fool on the Hill. Fool on the Hill is one of my favorite Beatles tracks. Believe it or not.
Fantastic! It is. It's a great. Yeah.
Did you see that Annie Lennox did a version of that? There was a special tribute to Ringo and Paul McCartney, and she came on with Dave Stewart. And they did.
What was it like? What was it like? She's good.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's on YouTube. You want to listen to it? It's such a great rendition of it.
She's a great vocalist, Annie Lennox. Yeah.
But it tells a story, you see. That's what I like about it. I keep thinking of a bloke with false dentures and that standing on this hill. You know, do you remember that documentary of that house that they put the motorway going around it? He would never leave, and they built the motorway to go around it, and he can't get out really because there's no bloody way of doing it. But there's this old house. And it's sort of every time I have images every time I listen to Fall on the Hill of that sort of thing, I think of that film, The Field. Things like that. All those sort of images of old blokes with caps and all that sort of stuff. Every time, don't know what it is, just do. Yeah. Great track. I love Fall on the Hill.
Yeah, it is. And then I sort of answered the oracle with my Giallo lecture. You, in a way, I think you're right that with Giallo, definitely. Let's see if anybody's got any more things to say about that.
What I was trying to get at that it's like, are you glad that there's less two teenagers getting killed by having, while having sex and all of that sort of stuff, or do you miss that? It's that sort of thing. So, but it doesn't matter. I mean, whichever anybody wants to go with, I'm quite happy.
I mean, you can argue that the Scream films have been popular, but they're kind of taking a sort of, I don't know, a look at it, but seeing it in a modern perspective, I think.
Yeah.
Looking at
they sort of collate all sorts of different genres in screen,
Yeah,
don't they? You know, there's always
yeah,
the person who's alone, the person who answers the phone, you
yeah,
know, and
all
all of
that
that
kind
sort
of
of
stuff.
stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And they've been successful, which suggests again that there are people who still like those slasher films. I think slasher films won't go away. Um,
Yeah.
but maybe people do get fed up sometimes of the teenagers and are looking for more, dare I say the word adult, sort of more adults in
Yeah.
horror situations.
You
Oh,
know, but there's so many
yeah,
trope. I mean, there's the trope of the urban legend.
yeah.
Do you think that's been done to death? You
There's
know, what I mean, are
probably,
you glad that that's not
yeah,
not so much apparent now, and all of that sort of
yeah.
stuff, or the Blair Witch approach, you know, with
No,
rough
that's
footage and
still there, but no. I'll tell you what is popular now is home invasion. Home invasion has become a bigger thing, I think. Um,
yeah,
and a good one. Yeah, I like him home invasion. I think home invasion is pretty good. Um, I think the teens got kind of there were there became too many of them, I think, at a certain time, and you associate it with the 80s. At the time, it was quite good, probably. And also, I suppose, dare I say it as well, some of the attitudes have now changed. What were considered okay in the 80s,
yeah.
maybe towards women, they wouldn't put in films nowadays. They wouldn't put the same sort of
By the way,
way they are.
I gotta get out of my chair for a minute because I'm
Okay.
really starting
Yeah.
to get a bit painful. I'll get a bottle of water and come straight back. Won't be a
Okay,
minute.
that's alright, yeah. Yeah. Um, so that's how I was looking at how horror has developed and changed. And the thing about horror is there's so many different aspects to it that, you've got the supernatural, you've got the sort of violence and horror, and folk horror. I always think folk horror. I think folk horror is great. It touches on a lot of areas that I quite enjoy. I'd like to see more folk horror. Um, but it's a big genre. It is. I think horror's always there, and I love to see more independent filmmakers doing it. You can do horror relatively cheaper and be independent. Um, not do it. You don't need the big studios involved. And because the jackpot is if you get one and then sell it on to a big studio distributor and it's successful. But there's plenty of room. But it would be other interesting to see other genres. But one you're not gonna get as much is of course epic. I think you don't get as many epics nowadays, though I mean the cost. But they're still there. We've got the Odyssey coming out, haven't we? Which is gonna be an epic. So they're still around, but you can understand just pure economics. And people don't want a total CGI fest. They want to see practical stuff being done like they used to do. Um, that's a big thing, I think. And then, yeah, you said True Romance is 1994, I think, Sai says. Uh, I will watch The Boys season 5 once they are all released. Yeah, not so enthusiastic as I found season 4 underwhelming. You think you can watch quite a few together and see how it develops. But do you, if you find that you're not enjoying it, would you stop or would you persist and carry on watching to the bitter end? What's your views on that? Do you think you would do that with a series that you really start to go on, or is it worth staying right through? I think it can be. I mean, I'm thinking like Lost, the last season of Lost. even though it, it may be considered what ultimately led to a bit of a letdown, it was still something that you had to watch, really. If you've been with it all that time, you couldn't abandon it. Uh, and because the ending, everybody went mad about. But, it was one of those situations where sometimes writers don't know where they're going, or sometimes they do have an idea. But I've noticed that every sort of major series and tends to get criticism. It's like I've never seen this Stranger Things, which was extremely popular, but uh, from what I can hear from other fans, they were disappointed with it. They were disappointed with it. The endings, and then the same with Game of Thrones, which was massive, wasn't it? And then people were complaining about the last series. Um, so it's one of those things. It just shows that maybe you shouldn't go on too long. I think that's the thing. Don't go on too long. Oh, uh, top 10 90s films. I'd have a hell of a job doing top 10 90s films again. Um, off the back of my head, I, I, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, I've got enough in my brain with trying to do the 80s now and the 90s. I always think it's like when they were saying, "Oh, do the top um, 10 of the 21st century." 25 years worth of films. That was blooming difficult. I didn't fortunately get asked to do that. I hope they don't do this with any more. Uh, but I mean, top 10 90s, you're gonna run. Once you start looking through, you start going, "Oh my God, what about that?" If True Romance, obviously, if that was the 90s, then yes, the 90 boys, then that would definitely be in there, wouldn't it? Um, Slipknot's Laughing Out Loud. Rocket Money is building up to something special. Oh, right. Let's have a look. Uh, uh, I need a bigger box if I try posting that lot. The box. He always does that every week, doesn't it? Every week, that joke. Yeah. Uh, top five then. Oh, God, no. You bugger. Absolute bugger. Uh, yes, it's a bugger. No. No, I'm not going to do top five. Don't. Don't tell me. What about 90s now? Top 5 90s, top 10 90s. Good. Um, Tony said, that farmhouse is in the middle of the M62, somewhere in Yorkshire, I think. Ah, right. It has been a big item on news at the time.
Yeah,
Ah,
there was a documentary, wasn't there,
yeah,
on it?
yeah. Si said, horror tropes are dating now, I think. PC and woke culture has changed the tropes. That's a good point. I personally think that modern horror is trying to find its footing. I think that's an
I think
interesting point.
I think that's what they're trying to do, but I think that there's still too many things like Terrifier, which is just slasher
Oh,
stuff, and
horrible. Yeah.
all of that sort of stuff is still. What I'm trying to say is the tropes are still present. What do you think? What do you think of certain tropes that they should sort of like just end with now? You know, like
Yeah.
urban legends or whatever it was. But it's an interesting. So maybe it was too complex a question. I just thought,
Yeah.
wow, make people think. You know what I mean?
I,
Um,
I mean, I know Terrifier is extremely popular, and the people that make it are, I think, independent and do practical effects. And I do appreciate that it does have an audience. A lot of people really love that art, the clown, say it's got humor in it. But for me personally, I just don't get it. I've had enough of it. But I do appreciate people do like it. And, you know, it's how far you take it. How far can you
I
take it?
just had to stand up and just sort of like get rid of my pain that's in my back. But I was interested to listen to about the Stranger Things and all of that, because
Yeah.
all of these things have suddenly got 4Ks coming out that cost nearly 200 quid.
Yeah.
I can't afford those.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering whether, what's that one that we like, Polybius? Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll tell you what, I'd probably buy a box set of that.
Yeah, if they do, I would be interested.
But I'm like everybody. I'd love Fringe to come back.
Oh yeah,
brilliant. That'd be brilliant.
There's still always one about the X-Files.
Lost can stay lost as far as I'm concerned. Lost can stay lost as far as I'm concerned. Jesus Christ. That and Prison Break annoyed me.
Oh, Prison Break. Never seen it. Yeah.
Started off with an interesting premise, you know, the bloke with a tattoo that told them how they could break out. Once they broke out, they made another 3 seasons of them being out and trying to get back in or something. I mean,
why would you want to get
Walking Dead annoyed me as well a little bit. Went on to 11 seasons or something like that. I mean, right now. I mean, you might as well. It ended up being like the Waltons. I mean, like, I'm probably annoying half the people out there going, how can you say that about The Walking Dead? You watch it, it gets bloody boring in the middle of it. Jesus Christ.
Oh dear. I love that about Prison Break, though. You see, you spent all that time trying to get out, and then they want to get back in.
Yeah, it's
so funny.
But that's true. It's bloody awful. I swear they brought out a box set of it. I'm going, what? It's only the first season that's any good. Rest of it's nonsense.
I'll tell you is Alias a good series? Because that's one that you go into a charity shop and you always see box sets of Alias.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alias and Charmed. You couldn't walk into a HMV without seeing huge bloody box sets of Charmed and Alias.
Yeah.
That and 24.
Oh yeah,
24 was good. I liked 24.
Yeah, 24. I loved it. Yeah,
I preferred The Wire, but I did like 24.
But they're all in charity shops now.
Yeah, tons of them.
Sets. And Alias, isn't the concept is interesting, isn't it? Is she like a secret agent or something?
Yeah. She ended up being in Elektra, didn't she?
Oh yeah, they did these superhero things. Yeah.
Yeah. She was a character in the Daredevil films, and then they made an Elektra film, didn't they?
Oh right, yeah. All right. Rocket Bunny. Seeing Dell's backgrounds, what's your top 3 ship designs from 60s to 80s TV series? For me, it's the Eagle, Space 1999, the Viper, Battlestar Galactica, and Thunderbird too. Oh yeah, iconic.
You got to have the Eagle. The Eagle's iconic. But then again, so's the Enterprise.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me because Thunderbird 2, that's iconic.
I think the Enterprise.
Blake 7, the Liberator. I mean,
yeah.
Whereas there's so many, isn't there? I mean, if you go to Star Trek, you got the Romulan Warbird, you got the Klingon battle cruiser, they all look brilliant. I mean, what about the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing and all of those sort of things? I mean, Christ, from Star Wars. I mean, Christ.
Yeah.
They're iconic. Yeah, there's Battlestar Galactica, like he said, isn't there?
Yeah.
The Viper, brilliant.
Yeah.
Even the ships in Buck Rogers were good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the design is really good.
Yeah, look, Rocket Bunny saying Star Wars is a film, not a TV series. Still in all the Star Wars TV series, though. Don't give me nonsense. Because Andor, ain't you? You got Andor, and you got Obi-Wan, and you can't turn around and
Obi-Wan
say that
too.
you haven't got those ships flying around in them series, can you?
Oh dear. Oh. Obi. Who's seen the trailer for Evil Dead Burnout? Yeah, it dropped yesterday. I found it interesting. Apparently, there's a rumor that it links to Ash versus Evil Dead. I don't. I'm, okay, I'm going to be hold my hands up. I'm not a big follower of Evil Dead series, but I know it is very popular. I think I've got Evil Dead first one, and I've got the second one, but I didn't carry on with it. Um, what about you? What's your opinion of the Evil Dead series? Hello? There isn't an opinion. There isn't an opinion. Okay, fine. Uh,
Well, I haven't seen the trailer for that.
No, I was about the other films. What's your opinion of the Evil Dead films?
What do I think of the Evil Dead films?
Yeah, what do you think of the Evil Dead films?
I really like them. And the funny thing is that although some people turn around and say the third one's weak, I actually really like the third one.
Yeah.
But the reason I like the third one is because of the medieval scenes. See, it's set in the past with anything that's King Arthur and all of that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to like it. The second one has got a bit of humor in it. It's a bit like House 2. So I quite like that, the graveyard scene and all of that sort of stuff. It looks really good. And the first one's just iconic, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. The best, probably, I think. Si says, I'm a completionist, Ian. So if after a few seasons I'm in it for the long haul, I understand that. Yeah. I just I think I used to be. I used to be, but now my patience can't always extend. It it's because it takes quite a bit of your time, and if you don't get fully invested in a series, then you think, well, I could be watching other things. That's what my sort of logic, which is probably not a good logic, because in the olden days we used to watch series which were 20 odd episodes, and we were used to letting them build up. Whereas now they have to get it all over pretty quickly. If you've only got 8 to 10 episodes to tell a story, you can't mess about. But if something after 2 or 3 I've watched and I'm not really getting into it, I have tended to abandon, which is probably not always a good thing.
I'm a bit like Cy though. I mean, if you were asking me in the early 2000s, if I started something, I'd watch it to the end. But it's only because of the problems, that I've had that has stopped me being able to do that. Because sometimes I'll start something off and go, "Oh, I really want to watch this," and I have to go because time goes by because something's happened in my life, and then I can't watch it. But that's that I'm in the minority with that. If I was still like I was 10 years ago, I'd be watching all these things all the way through to the end, regardless of how bad they are. I'm a bit like Cy, I have to say.
Yeah. To be
Rocket
fair,
Rocket Bunny is great because I know that we've had chats about stuff.
I love Floribus.
He always used to introduce me to stuff, TV stuff that I wish I could have gone back to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's lots. If you did like sort of searches on TV shows, there's an absolute stack that got cancelled after one season. There's an amazing amount of one-season wonders, and some of them are quite good, but they just never got renewed.
Yeah, there was a series called Camelot that got cancelled. There was that One about where everybody went to sleep for 12 minutes and they had to work out what the hell
Yeah.
was going on. That
Flash
ended
forward,
after
was it?
one season.
Yeah.
There was stuff that that I feel sorry for, and
Yeah.
one of those is Heroes. And the
Yeah.
reason for that was the writing strike destroyed that, because they'd already started filming the first part of the second season and it ended. And to be quite honest, when they came back, it was all a nonsense, because the first couple of episodes were just like the first season and it was really good. And then it just went into nonsense from there onwards. And I just couldn't. I watched it to the end, but I was going, Jesus Christ, this is bad.
Yeah.
Really was. Why they brought it back, I don't know. They brought it back for a one-off season with the cheerleader.
Yeah.
Save the cheerleader. That's what it was all
Yeah.
about. Wasn't it? Everybody was
Yeah.
going, what the bloody hell's going on? What's this cheerleader nonsense crap? You know what I mean? And then it turned out to be, yeah, it was nonsense crap and all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, X-Files just blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
Because it was consistently good.
It was, yeah. 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 Do you remember a series called Space Above and Beyond? I absolutely loved that. And that got
canceled. I loved Farscape, and I liked.
Farscape! I need to watch that more. I got put off by that because of puppet stuff. But I think if you get past that, it's possibly a really good series. That.
Yeah.
But I didn't really give it enough. I think I should have given Farscape a lot more.
Oh, and there's that other one, isn't it, with the peacekeepers? What's that?
Oh. I don't know.
Another one that ended really quite bad as well, the 4400.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, yeah.
So I love the first season of that. The second season was sort of a continuation. Third and fourth, what the hell?
Yeah.
It was all political and all
it got cancelled, didn't it? It got cancelled. Yeah. I suppose
of course, the one that you want to come back is that Slip one, isn't it? What's it called? Slips, Time Slip.
Oh, Time Slip. Oh, the other one, the one with the historian teacher. Was it Timelines? Something like that. Where
you know the one I'm talking about, the one where they keep going in, they fall through holes and keep going up back in the past and all of this sort of stuff. What's it called? You've got all of the series in box sets, haven't you? And you said, "Oh, I wish that had come back." What's it called? I'm pretty sure it was Time Slip or Slipstream or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. I don't think I've got it on my shelves. Sliders. That's it. Sliders.
Sliders. It's alternative universe.
Yeah.
It's infinite possibilities.
But you see, the reason I like those sort of things is because, remember, with Marvel, they did something called What If. There's a couple of cartoons.
Yeah.
The cartoons are awful, though. But the What Ifs are always, what if Thor's hammer was given to somebody else? What if somebody else was bitten by a radioactive spider? What if Daredevil wasn't blind? All of this. I love all that because you've got a huge amount of history with the characters, and then you turn it on its arse and turn around and go, yeah, but what if Peter Parker wasn't bitten and it was somebody else, and all of that, and you just go, wow, yeah, you could make a whole thing about this. They were one-off comics. But what I'm trying to say is I love all that alternate reality stuff.
Sliders was like that. You'd meet the characters, didn't you?
Yeah, what if Abe Lincoln hadn't been shot and all of that sort of stuff? You see what I mean? What if JFK wasn't shot? What if, what if Trump wasn't president? Well, wouldn't we love that? That'd be great.
Yeah. But who knows? We could have got something else that we didn't know we were going to get. I always
what if Obama was a tyrant or something?
We get the consequences of changing history. I love it, and it's not how we want it to be. Yeah. Oh, cracky! I've just thought of another 80s film, Terminator.
Oh Christ! Yeah.
Oh, flipping heck! Oh, God. I'm gonna kill him. I'll kill him. I'll kill that giant. I'm killing. You can't do this to me.
Well, you got, you know, you got the Rambo films. You got.
Oh, I choose Terminator over Rambo, I think. But yeah, I can understand that.
No, but what I'm trying to say with those is that they're iconic 80s films.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you could go to any. What about the Predator? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Commando. You know,
yeah.
it's just ridiculous how much
I'll
we
kill
watch.
it. Definitely.
Just because there was an actor in it, we watched it, and it was like,
Yeah. He's not come in. You've not come in, have you? Blimmin'. Rocket Buddy. Anthony's question. Yes, I would stop watching a series halfway through if I don't like it. E.g., I stopped watching Star Trek Discovery mid-episode in the 3rd season. Actually, it's about where I probably got off, actually, as well, roundabout that. But I think, is it the 1st season of Discovery is perhaps the worst, where you have those awful Klingons? And they
it starts off with them, doesn't it? I mean, Christ, and then you have the ship with this alien on it that make them jump faster or made the ship go faster and all of this sort of stuff, wasn't it?
Oh, there's a lot wrong with it. I gave up and yeah. Oh.
Well, the thing that I didn't get is their technology was better than the Star Trek's technology, and it was set earlier. Go what? Why have they got the biggest flipping windscreen in the whole of the Starfleet Academy, right?
With Strange New Worlds.
And old Captain Kirk, all he had was a little square box that he had to look at. You know, it nearly filled the whole of the front of the ship there windscreen. I mean, Jesus Christ!
They didn't go retro enough with Strange New Worlds. It just looks too advanced. It looks far too advanced.
They got holographic communication going on and all sorts of stuff. I'm going, what?
I've read that before. Yeah.
All we had was red and yellow blinking lights and static displays of Milky Ways and galaxies going around the sky thing. And they've got all this bloody. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the bloody chairs had seatbelts in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I look hard enough, they probably have. I'll be going, this is set 20, 30 years before. What?
Yeah. And then Jody says, I always liked the Romulan warbird from Star Trek Next Generation, original Star Trek Enterprise, and the Seaview. Oh, from Voice of Bottom of the Sea. If we're allowed Earthbound vessels, that's a good one. The Seaview.
Yeah, but then again, the submarine that's in Sequest DSV.
Yeah.
See, you could do that, couldn't you?
Yeah. Some great stuff there.
60s. I mean, what about the Jupiter? What was it called? Jupiter 2? Was it Jupiter 5? I forgot what it is in Lost in Space.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
It was the Jupiter. It was the Jupiter something.
Yeah. Oh, this is why we got Top Rocket when he says Star Wars is a film, not a TV series.
Just go past that because he lost the argument.
As I says, has anyone seen The Pit? It's a drama set in an ER room in Pittsburgh, shot in real time. There's 2 seasons. Each season is 12 episodes, 1 episode for each hour of the shift. Oh, it's supposedly great. Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. I quite like medical stuff. Yeah, medical dramas.
Do you know what? I wake up every morning and there's always something. I'll tell you what, there's always a TV series about customs.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those on Sky.
Yeah, this bloke's trying to get into Australia and he's brought organic matter or something, and they're going to be charged $600 or something. And they've got no credit card on them and all this sort of shit.
Oh, the food. Food looks revolting. I'm not surprised they don't want it in the country. You know, it's horrible. Oh,
because
look at
they're
these
scared
insects.
they're scared you're going to infect all their trees and all that sort of stuff.
That's it. And they're always Chinese kind of foods.
Yeah. Why don't you
It
just
kind of
ban
puts
all?
you
Why don't
off.
you just ban all Chinese coming into Australia? Because it's probably the only way you're going to stop it
Yeah,
from happening.
no food. No. Oh dear.
That's always on, and the bailiffs ones. They
Oh
annoy me
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, bailiffs and landlords and stuff.
Oh right, yeah.
You know, there's always somebody who hasn't paid his car
Oh
parking tickets, and they're just about to clamp the bloody car or something if they don't
yeah.
come up with the money or something, or squatters that have taken over an old
Oh
pub or
yeah, they
something.
go in and it's disgusting. The places are just horrible, aren't they? Everything's
Yeah.
on the floor and uh
But all I'm saying is, every time I wake up or something, there's, if
one
I
of
put the
those on.
telly on, there's one of those type of shows on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I
Uh
like that Rewind TV, to be quite honest.
yeah. Um tell me a Star Wars series
Yeah, I've already
with
answered
a
that.
detail.
There's the Ewoks cartoon series.
Smart ass. Smart. Uh, the Christmas special, yeah, you was laughing at that. Everybody mentions that one. Yeah.
Series.
Series. Rocket Boy says, uh, only one Star Wars special, thank God. Delboy, are there not Star Wars cartoons like Ewoks in the 80s? There probably was, wasn't there?
There was,
Uh,
you see.
two animated shows, one about Ewoks and one about C3PO and R2. I guess they might have spaceships.
Of course, they had spaceships in them.
And then, yeah, oh, sliders. You mentioned sliders. Yeah, sliders. Um,
He is. He is. I'll
Rocket,
tell you what, though, Rocket Bunny. He's quite right. They're out there. I mean, I didn't read it properly. 60s, 70s, 80s. There
yeah.
is no Star Wars TV
Um,
series.
I watched the first season of Altered Carbon, a great cyberpunk-like series, then stopped watching the second series in the first episode as they switched the two lead characters, and it was awful. That's awful when lead characters are
Well, I'll tell you
switched like
what.
that.
There was
Yeah,
a series that I really, 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 really liked, and they cancelled it because it was 20th Century Fox.
of
20th
course.
Century Fox were
Yeah,
terrible. They'd start off a science fiction series and it would die,
yeah,
right? Because 20th Century Fox would never renew them. There was one called Almost Human,
yes, yeah, yeah,
right? And it had the bloke from Judge Dredd in it. You know, the doctor in the Star. You know, what's
yeah.
his name?
Carl Urban.
Carl. Yeah, yeah. And he was in that, and I thought it was a great show. It started off a bit like Minority Report, you know, that type of
Yeah,
setting. And again, Minority Report was a TV series.
yeah.
Bloody awful, but there you go.
Oh yeah, now I have. Oh, he's brought this one. Says, have you heard of a time travel show called Time Traps? I remember that. I haven't seen it myself. Someone recommended it to me. It looks a bit like a mix of Quantum Leap and
Time Cop.
Time Cop.
I remember it sort of.
Yeah, I can't remember enough details. It got cancelled, I think, again.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one. Uh, um, It says, I just watched the trailer for Time Traps. Looks as good as Auto Man.
Oh, for God's sake.
I bet it's one of Elle's favourites.
Automan is one of my favourites. I like Automan. Manimal can go do one. Manimal should be buried. That's Simon McCorkin now. Jesus Christ. Man, just die, will you?
Rocket, but I really do want to watch some of the other Stargate series, like Atlantis and DSV. What's DSV stand for? I don't know. As SG1 went on for so long, I was a bit Stargate fatigued when they were on. Well, you're going to be in for a real treat. They're bringing it back, aren't they? The original creators. But they announced it, did they, earlier in the year? Um, So you're going to get more Stargate.
It's
I
when they
presume
it's
it will
when
be
they
a
brought
new
in
cast.
it's when they brought in a new set of protagonists, didn't they? They were like priests, weren't they? They were
Oh, yes, yes,
priors or something like
yeah,
that, I
yeah.
think they were called. And they were interested at first, but then they turned into oh
Too
my God,
many.
they're so powerful, now I'm losing interest.
Yeah, yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean? Because
They were on nearly every week.
it was like they had this
Yeah,
law and something, and they
yeah.
could just
It got too
destroy a
much.
whole planet by sticking their staff down or something,
It
and
w
everything would die. And all.
it
It
was
was
better when they were going into different worlds, meeting different species. It was much better.
the interesting creatures that were in Atlantis were those sort of like Lego little nanite type things,
Yeah,
weren't they? That
yeah,
they like
yeah,
spiders that sort of like took
yeah,
over you. You know
yeah,
that they were
yeah,
interesting,
yeah.
but again,
Um, I did watch Stargate Is that Universe? Which I rather liked, but it wasn't popular. It was cancelled. Yeah, that's gone
yeah.
after 2
It,
seasons.
it
Oh
it
dear.
it was one of those ones that had that famous British actor in it. I forgot his name.
Oh, oh, what's his name? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And the first season I found quite interesting, but it was almost like doomed to fail because I don't know what it is. I think everybody was critical of it in the very first 3 episodes. It was like, what are you doing with this? It's like a ship traveling around. It's like another Star Trek or another Star Wars or another, it's like just because they're on a ship and they've got no way of getting back or something, and it's a foreign ship and they don't know how it works and
Yeah.
all of this sort of stuff. It's like, how many times have we seen this type thing, But to be quite honest, I found it quite interesting. Battlestar Galactica didn't really interest me until we got to the
Ah,
episode where
Robert Carlyle. It was
Robert
Robert
Carlyle, that's
Carlyle.
right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I was just saying that the new Battlestar Galactica didn't really intrigue me until they were losing water. There was an episode where they were draining water. There was a
yeah,
hole in the ship and all the water was being drained out, and then they
yeah.
had no way of how to replenish that water and all of that sort of stuff. That's when I got interested in Battlestar Galactica, and then I found it a brilliant series.
It was. Yeah, yeah. I think that surprised people because a lot of people really love the original Battlestar Galactica, and then when they changed the sex of the characters, and there was um, quite a lot of resistance, I think, at first. But when people got watching it, they fell in love with it. They absolutely
yeah.
loved it.
I'll tell you a design that I never got on with, really, when it comes to spaceships, and I should do. I never really got on with Babylon 5's spaceships.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they just looked like round, circular, sort of like space stations that never really.
Because
I
the
don't think there was
different
anything.
races had.
I can't think of one fantastic design. That it was. This is strange because Babylon 5 was rendered with Amigas. My computer that I had. I had a Commodore Amiga. It was done with Amigas. Same as Sequest DSV was done with Amigas as well.
Yeah.
But I can't think of one unique design or one that stands out in Babylon 5. I liked Babylon 5 though. Did you like Babylon
Oh, I
5?
loved it. I've got it.
Babylon 5 was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, and even the spin-offs. They did some movies, didn't they? Standalone movies. And then there was another series they did. What was that one called? I can see box set, but I can't read the name. But it got cancelled after about 13 or 14 episodes. But it was a spin-off. Got what it was
Oh
called.
yeah, but we're talking. I mean, you're talking about the one with the with the weird language and all that sort of stuff, aren't you? It's the and it came out with a film, doesn't it?
There's that, yeah.
Serenity was the film, wasn't it?
Oh, that's Firefly.
Firefly.
Yeah,
That ended after 13
yeah,
episodes. Is that what you're
yeah.
talking about?
That's it. Yeah. That was another. Was that a Fox one again, possibly?
Fox, yeah, that's
Yeah,
Fox.
yeah. Yeah.
Fox were terrible. Anything. I used to be so into my TV programs. There's no word of a lie, right? I used to go to a website that told me what had been renewed and what had been cancelled,
Yeah.
right?
You said all
Every
that.
season, because September was the start of when the new shows were coming on and all that sort of stuff, and what had been cancelled and all of that. And every time they used to split it up into NBC and Fox and all of this sort of stuff. And every time you got to Fox, it was cancelled,
Cancel.
not going back.
Yeah.
And I was just going, what's the point in me watching any science fiction show on Fox? Because it would just be gone.
Yeah.
No point bloody watching it. Bound sure it was going to be ending.
Yeah.
And there was a time where Netflix would only do 2 seasons of something. They'd do a season 2 and then it'd end. That'd be it. Wouldn't go beyond that. And somebody else would have to buy it to do a 3rd season.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like I know there was a show, wasn't there, that had to be bought by another pub, broadcaster.
Yeah.
Like halfway through. They'd done about 3 seasons and they went, nah, we're not doing that anymore. What was it? Expanse.
Ah, yeah.
That was fantastic. It was on a roll, and then some other broadcaster had to finish it off. Ridiculous.
There was another one that I liked. Do you remember one called Continuum?
Oh yeah,
I've got that, but that only survived after loads of fan pressure. They got about 6 episodes to finish it off, the story. But in a lot of cases, that doesn't happen. They don't give in to fan pressure. They just ignore it, and which is sad. But we did get an ending to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, this is it. Can't pay. We'll have to take it away.
Yeah, it's a bailiff program.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah. We can see what you watch on a morning then. I don't watch. Ian, will you be watching? Oh yes, Leeds United at the weekend. Chelsea have just sacked their manager. I know it's great news, isn't it? And I'll tell you something. Chelsea are awful. They're the worst enemies. I can't stand Chelsea. They're terrible. Sack their manager, so I have a chance of getting to the final. Won't that be great? That'd be fantastic. We'll show them. Oh, Leeds. Yeah, brilliant. And we'll stay up. We're going to stay up. I predict that, he says. Smug sod. Yeah. We're going to
my team got promoted.
Yeah, I know. You told us in your blog, didn't you? Coventry. Yeah.
I think this week Wolves got relegated.
Yeah. Oh, that's not a surprise, is it? Who else is it? There's another one that's virtually
wasn't Leicester relegated or something?
Oh, they're down to the next one. Are they 2? I think they could be 2 even. Wow. Leicester really fallen. Who would believe that they won the Premiership?
And of course, everybody's talking about Tottenham at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to go down. They'll be down. Yeah. Sorry, I got confused. It's not Stargate DSV. It's Sequest DSV. Yeah, which wasn't a Stargate series.
And,
yeah,
and if you remember, I mentioned Sequest DSV because I was talking about the ship as being a submarine, and that was a Steven Spielberg. I watched it, but I got sick of Darwin, that dolphin.
Was that
I really like the music score of Sequest.
Yeah. Yeah. It did last a few series. Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't they do one in the future with what's his name? There's one they did another one, didn't there? I think it only lasted one series.
Oh yeah. I know that Roy Schneider sort of like
I've forgotten his name. He pops up. He's in the Arnie film, the Mars Arnie film. Michael Ironside. That's it. Yeah. Michael Ironside. I think he did one series. Let's have a look. Uh, um, Deep Submersive Vessel, I think it stands for. Got it on DVD. I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Deep Submersible Vessel.
yeah.
There you are.
Sequest DSP did get a
Yeah.
Blu-ray release, if I remember rightly, as well.
Oh,
Um, you know, it was Debney that did the theme music to it. I was interested, but I saw the price and went, nah, I can't really.
is it expensive?
It
Oh,
was at the time.
yeah.
I don't think it is now.
Oh, now I do remember this. Anyone remember a werewolf series called Wolf Lake? Yes, starring Lou Diamond Phillips. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember watching some episodes of that one. It was quite good, but it got cancelled. Well, everything gets cancelled.
Is that going to be the new word? Cancelled? Is that
Yeah,
right?
it is. Let's cancel being cancelled.
I must admit, I'm struggling in this chair at
Yeah.
the moment, sitting down. I might have
Oh,
to go.
right.
I might have to go and get my painkillers in a minute.
Um, right. Okay. Did anyone watch Damien? It
Oh,
was an Omen TV series, lasted 13th episode. I thought it was okay. Um, I think um, I did see one, and
yeah.
it
Wasn't
wasn't
that in
that
the
good.
wasn't that in the 90s or something?
Uh,
I mean, there was a Nightmare on Elm Street TV series. There was a. Oh, I'm struggling here, but
you go and have a walk around and get some
no, it's all
painkillers.
right. You know,
Sure.
I'll be okay. Oh,
Yeah.
really, I'm really. It's because I've been sitting down for so long. It's all right.
It's all right.
Oh,
You can, yeah.
oh.
The Babylon Earth ships were like just rectangular box shapes with the occasional protruding wires. The shadow vessels were like spiders. Yeah, I remember the shadow
You
vessels.
see,
Yeah,
this is the thing. Babylon 5, I really loved it, but all I was getting at is if you remember shows like Buck Rogers, and if you watched Battlestar Galactica or any of those, the ships you remember, but Babylon 5, I don't know what it is. I thought they were quite generic. That's all.
yeah,
You know, they are. I mean, the shadows were like spiders. They were just sort of like circles with legs coming out of them. You know what
yeah,
I mean? I didn't think there was much. I mean, I might be wrong. I'm probably thinking poorly, but I'm saying now I loved Babylon 5.
yeah. I
Michael,
did.
it was done by Michael Straczynski or something,
That's right. Yeah,
and he wrote a lot of Spider-Man comics. I
yeah,
mean, he was fantastic writing a whole run of Spider-Man. So of course, I'm Michael J. Straczynski. That's right. So of course I'm going to like Babylon 5. All I was getting at is when I think back to that show, I can't really think of a specific ship where I went, oh, that's blown me away. That looks fantastic. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But I'm probably wrong. I'll put my hands up and say, look, it's only me.
yeah.
Don't
Um,
get angry about it. I just can't think of one. That's all.
let's have a look. Slipknot was like, wow, first time hearing about it. Is this Omen
That's
TV
the
series?
Omen.
Yeah,
Yeah. Damien, it was called. Yeah.
yeah. Rocket Bunny says, what? Babylon 5, not good ships. The White Stars, Mambari Cruisers, and my all-time favorite, Amiga class Earth destroyers with revolving section
Yeah,
midship. Oh,
I'm probably thinking wrong. Rocket Bunny's probably right on that.
yeah,
It's just like I said, I can think as soon as somebody mentions UFO, I'm thinking of the Interceptor. As soon as I watch space, I'm thinking of an eagle. When I think of Babylon 5, I can't really think of one. That's all I was getting at.
yeah. Um, Slipknot says it didn't get any promotion at all. So I says,
Damien, yeah.
that's surprising. Rocket Bunny, I slaved away for months in EVE Online to get a Hyperion class battle cruiser
Oh,
just
right.
because it looked like Earth Amiga class destroyers. Ah,
Do you know, I tried to play EVE Online. It's so complex. It was a bit like playing Elite online. I
Yeah.
gave in after a while, but it was free.
Yeah.
The best thing about Eve Online was it was free and it looked gorgeous. I
Yeah.
just couldn't get into it. It looked like, I think the manual would have been like a Yellow Pages telephone book back in the 70s. Do you know what I mean? just to learn how to power the damn thing up and fly. You know what I mean? So
Sly says, "Nighty night, guys. Cheers for the movie and TV chat. Thanks to Ian and Delboy for tonight's entertainment, and I hope that Mrs. Dell gets well soon." Well, thank you, Si, as always,
you
for
know, like I
joining us.
say, at the
Thank you
moment,
so much.
I'm thinking to myself, is this the end for my mum? And I'm worried to death, but I'm sure
Okay.
everything will be fine.
Yeah.
But that's what's going through my head and why I'm happy to be here and not dwell on it. But as soon
Yeah.
as this broadcast ends, I'll probably be thinking about it again. And,
Yeah.
you know, but that's just me.
That's
You know,
okay. I
don't
understand.
honestly don't judge me. It's just that there's a lot
Yeah.
going on in my life, and I could do without some of the crap that goes on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Rocket Bunny says Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers have the same 8 to 10 spaceship
Yeah, they did.
sequences shown over and over again. By pioneering CGI for space scenes, it allowed them to do always unique and massive space scenes.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
shot the things in different sequences, or they flipped the image so that instead
Yeah.
of coming in from that angle, they came in from that angle, and
Yeah.
it was the same shots. Corman did that. Roger
Yeah.
Corman did that a lot.
Yeah.
If you ever watch Battle Beyond the Stars, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some of the most overused scenes reused are from that film.
Right.
He's quite right.
Tony
Dead on.
says, "Good night, all. Thanks. Best wishes to your mum, Del." Thank you, Tony, as always, for joining us. Real pleasure that you're here, and thank you anyhow. And then Rocket Bunny, I was lucky to have friends that taught me how to play Eve Online in the early days.
Yeah, I never had that, you see.
And then Slipknot says, so it's crazy how there's been quite a few TV series based on movies I've not heard of until now. Never knew that the Crow and Starman had shows. Yes, Starman did. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you remember I bought
Yeah.
that Columbia box set because it had Starman in it, and it had the Blu-ray editions of Starman, and it was the only way that you could get them.
Fantastic it was, yeah.
Yes, I actually mentioned it on this show that
You
I'd
did?
got that.
Yeah, yeah. So I said Slipknot Limitless was really good, but one season yet
Yeah.
again. And then Rocket Bunny, good night, both. Thanks for good chat this evening. Del, I hope your mum recovers enough to get back home. Try not to worry about things that might happen and focus on the things that do happen.
Yeah,
That's
he's
very
honestly
good
Rocket
advice,
Bunny is
yeah.
such a lovely bloke. Honestly,
Yeah,
I couldn't wish for a better person to have a
great.
chat with.
I agree.
I miss the fact that we're not playing games at
Yeah.
the moment, but it's just mental.
It's
I
all
haven't spoken to my friend Denny for months.
No. Slipknot says, "Take care, everyone. Hope your mum gets better as soon as possible, Del."
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you everybody that's contributed by putting comments or just watching. All your support every week is much appreciated. We enjoy doing this,
Oh yeah.
and we'll always be here on a Wednesday. You know, us old buggers, we do come on here. And I say thank you, everyone, and we appreciate it. We do love it. So we'll be here again next week. And so
we definitely will.
Normal farewells.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night. Yeah, that's the two Ronnies. You have to have that, don't you? But I always do my Frankie Howard because I loved up Pompeii, and he always used to go salute like that. So there we go.
And all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.